If you love cinematic fanfics broken down fast, this is fanfics in a nutshell. So hit like, comment, and subscribe, because this story turns the Naruto timeline on its head. In this world, ninjas shape chakra into techniques, villages operate like hidden militaries, and the strongest leaders are Kage who protect their nations through shadow wars. The Nine Tails is not a myth, it is a disaster with a name, and one boy carries the aftermath like a curse no one is supposed to see. The air is baked dry, like the world itself is still burning. Heat clings to everything, heavy and unnatural, as if the night has forgotten how to breathe. The ground is hard enough to feel like glass underfoot. Far off, there are hoarse voices, panic shouts, orders, screams, rushing closer and then fading again, like the wind can't decide whether to deliver hope or disaster. The fourth Hokage wakes to that world with blood in his mouth. It tastes like copper and failure. His muscles seize the moment he moves, pain tearing through his body like wire. He tries to think, but his mind keeps slipping back to the fight, the claws, the red eyes in the darkness. Back to the village walls collapsing like paper, and then the bundle in his arms shifts, small, alive, silent. That silence hurts worse than the wounds. He tightens his grip as if pressure alone can promise safety. He forces his legs to work. One step, then another. His body screams at him to stop, to lie down and accept what comes next. He refuses. He stumbles across shattered ground toward the broken edge of what used to be home. The village is ruined, and the people who survived are somewhere out there, afraid, injured, terrified, and ready to blame anything breathing. He knows fear will turn into anger. He knows anger will find the nearest target. He can't let that target be this child. His chakra is thin. His time is thinner. The technique he has already used, there's no coming back from it. He knows that, and he doesn't waste the last scraps of himself pretending otherwise. He reaches a pit blown open by the battle and drops to one knee, bracing himself with one hand so he doesn't crush the baby. He looks down into the darkness like he's staring at a mouth. This is the only way. His fingers move, seals form, his voice is ragged but steady. He forces every ounce of will he has left into a single decision. The village lives, even if he doesn't. The world narrows into heat, blood, and the sound of a distant, hateful laugh. Something enormous shifts behind the veil of reality. Something ancient and furious. The Nine Tails is still there, still snarling, still hungry, and for a moment the fourth Hokage feels the full weight of what he is asking a newborn to carry. His jaw tightens. Live, he whispers, not as a plea, but as a command. The seal takes, the darkness swallows the moment, and somewhere in the aftermath, a child begins a life that is already a battlefield. Years later, the battlefield looks like a street in Konoha, and the weapon is humiliation. Naruto Uzumaki, bright blonde hair, orange clothes, grin sharp enough to cut perches on the edge of a pit he has definitely not accidentally created. Below him, a merchant is stuck, waist deep in the hole, arms flailing, face red with fury. Naruto laughs like the world has never hurt him. The merchant shouts threats. Naruto answers with the look that says he's heard every threat the village can spit. The man tries a new tactic. Soft voice, fake regret, a hand extended like a peace offering. Naruto watches him for a beat. Eyes narrowed, then leans forward like he's going to help. Then he slaps the hand away and grins wider. Yeah right, Naruto says, pure mockery. You think I'm that stupid? The merchant's face twists. He reaches for the only leverage he thinks he has. I'll tell the Hokage what you've done. Naruto's grin doesn't move. If anything, it gets colder. He doesn't even bother arguing. He just turns the merchant's threat into a punchline, makes it ridiculous, makes it powerless. Because that's what Naruto does. He turns pain into a joke before it can turn him into something worse. And when the merchant finally realizes he's not getting out of the pit with dignity intact, Naruto strolls away like he's already bored. He should feel triumphant. He should feel like the village can't touch him. But the moment he's alone, the grin fades. Because the village always touches him. They glare from doorways. They whisper behind hands. They talk like he can't hear them. Like he's not even human. Like he's a mistake wearing a boy's face. Some of them don't even bother whispering, they just stare with hate so old it feels inherited. Naruto walks faster. He tells himself it doesn't matter. He tells himself he doesn't care. And he almost believes it until he reaches the academy. Until he sees other kids laughing together, leaning close, trading secrets, belonging. He takes his seat like it's a battlefield trench. Iruka Yumino stands at the front of the classroom with tired eyes and a scar across his nose, a green vest that marks him as more than a teacher. Iruka has the voice of someone who has said, settle down, so many times it has become part of his bones. Tomorrow, Iruka announces, is the Ninja Academy graduation exam. The room snaps into attention like a switch flips. Excitement rises. Nervous energy crackles. Naruto's stomach drops. Iruka starts reviewing. He asks about the 5 great nations. Sakura answers like she's reciting from a scroll carved into her soul. Hinata speaks softly but correctly. The room is alive with competence. Naruto tries to focus, but his mind keeps drifting to the same ugly truth. If the exam requires the clone technique, he fails. He has failed before. He has watched others walk out with headbands while he stays behind, smiling like it's funny, swallowing humiliation like it's normal. He has heard the whispers, dead last, hopeless, idiot, monster. And this time is worse. This is his last chance. Iruka's eyes keep flicking to Naruto's empty seat whenever Naruto is late. He notices when Naruto is too quiet. He notices when Naruto tries too hard to laugh. And it makes Naruto angry, because being noticed is dangerous. But Iruka notices anyway. Later, when the classroom empties and the day fades, Naruto lingers like he's looking for something to steal. Some trick, some shortcut, some miracle. Iruka catches him. He doesn't yell at first. He just looks at Naruto with the exhaustion of a man who wants to help a kid who refuses help like it's poison. "You know," Iruka says, voice low, "this really is your last year." Naruto freezes like he's been punched. Iruka keeps going because it's his job to say the truth even if it hurts. "If you don't graduate, you won't be allowed to try again." Naruto's hands clench. For a second, rage rises up his spine, hot and sharp, and it's not just anger at Iruka, it's anger at the village, at the rules, at the way everything is set up so Naruto is always the punchline. Then Iruka's expression shifts, just slightly. "You can do this," Iruka says, quiet enough that it feels like a secret, "but you had to take it seriously." Naruto looks away. He can't stand the hope in Iruka's voice. Hope is the thing that gets you killed in this village. The next day, the exam begins. One by one, students are called into the next room to perform the clone technique. Some return smiling, some return pale. Naruto sits there while his heart hammers and his brain screams for solutions. He thinks about cheating, he thinks about disguises, he thinks about pranks that could be turned into tricks. But deep down, he knows it won't work. When his name is called, his legs move like they belong to someone else. He stands in the exam room facing Iruka and Mizuki. Mizuki is Iruka's assistant. Hair a pale blue, smile friendly in a way that feels like it's hiding teeth. Naruto tries not to look at him too long. Something about Mizuki's eyes makes Naruto uncomfortable, like the man is measuring him. Iruka's expression is stern, but not cruel. "You will do the Bunshin no Jutsu." Naruto swallows. He forms the hand signs. He pours chakra into the technique like he's been taught. He forces focus. He forces will. And the result is the same as always. A pathetic, half-formed copy slumps beside him like a sick joke. Silence. Then Mizuki sighs. Overly dramatic, like Naruto has personally inconvenienced him. Fail. The word lands like a blade. Naruto stands there for a moment, staring at the floor, the heat behind his eyes threatening to spill. He wants to scream. He wants to destroy something. He wants to ask why the universe picked him to be the one that always loses. He turns and walks out. Outside, the sky looks too bright. The village looks too normal. People go about their lives like Naruto's world hasn't just ended. He sits alone on a swing. It's an old place to sit, a place he knows too well. The rope creaks. The metal is cold against his fingers. And the empty space around him feels like a verdict. Then Mizuki appears. His voice is gentle. His posture is casual. He speaks like a man offering water to someone dying of thirst. "You know," Mizuki says, "there might be another way to graduate." Naruto's head snaps up. Mizuki smiles as if he's doing Naruto a favor. "There's a special test, harder than the exam, but if you pass it, you graduate." Naruto's chest tightens. "What do I have to do?" Mizuki leans closer. "Steal a scroll from the Hokage's private library." Naruto hesitates. Even Naruto knows that sounds insane. The Hokage's tower is guarded. The scrolls inside aren't for kids. They're for war. Mizuki sees the hesitation and tilts his head, voice soothing. "If you can bring it to me, you prove you have the skill and determination to be a ninja. You'll finally get your headband." Naruto's brain scrambles. This is dangerous. This is stupid. This is a chance. And Naruto has lived his whole life being denied chances. So he says yes. That night, he does the impossible. He slips into the Hokage tower like a ghost. He bypasses guards who should have seen him. He moves through the halls like he belongs there. And somewhere deep in the building, he finds the forbidden library. He finds the scroll. It's heavy in his hands, not just in weight, but in meaning. It feels like it hums with sealed violence. Naruto doesn't fully understand what he's holding, but he understands one thing. This is power. He runs. By the time anyone realizes the scroll is gone, Naruto is already out beyond the village, deep in the training grounds, hidden among trees and shadow. Inside the Hokage's office, the third Hokage, old, tired, sharp as a blade, listens to frantic reports. Chunin guards are unconscious, the scroll is missing, witnesses swear it was Naruto. Jonin gather, anger flashing across their faces. Too many of them look excited, like this is an excuse they've been waiting for. The Hokage's voice cuts through them, calm but firm. I don't want Naruto dead, I want him brought back. He doesn't say why out loud, but the weight behind his words fills the room. A masked, silver-haired Jonin appears, reporting something that makes the air shift. They can't find Naruto's chakra signature. For train trackers, that is wrong. That is impossible. The third Hokage's eyes narrow. Something is happening. Out in the woods, Naruto unrolls the scroll with shaking hands. The ink looks like it was written by someone who knew the cost of every stroke. He scans the techniques. Most of it is beyond him. Then he finds one he can understand. Shadow clone technique. Naruto's eyes widen. This isn't a normal clone. This is a forbidden technique because it divides chakra, because it can kill an untrained user if done wrong. Naruto grins anyway. Of course, the technique that finally gives him a chance is the one that can destroy him. He trains through the night, sweat soaking his clothes, hands raw from repeated seals. He fails again and again. He collapses, gasping, then forces himself back up. Because if he goes back empty-handed, the village won't just laugh. The village will eat him alive. And as Naruto pushes, something inside him answers. His chakra surges. It feels hot and strange, too large, too heavy, like it has depth that doesn't match a kid's body. For a split second, it almost feels older. Naruto doesn't know that. He only knows the technique finally clicks. A clone appears beside him, solid, real, smirking like Naruto has been waiting his whole life to meet himself. Naruto laughs, breathless. Then he hears footsteps. Iruka arrives first. He's wounded, he's bleeding. But his eyes are locked on Naruto like nothing else matters. Naruto, Iruka says, voice strained, give me the scroll. Naruto's confusion spikes. Iruka-sensei? What's going on? Before Iruka can answer, Mizuki appears from the darkness, and the friendliness is gone. His smile is sharp now, his voice is colder. Naruto, Mizuki says, like it's in order. Give me the scroll. Naruto's mind stutters. Mizuki-sensei? Iruka steps between them, forcing himself upright with sheer will. Don't give it to him, Iruka snarls. That scroll is forbidden. Mizuki used you. He stole it and blamed you. Naruto feels something climb up his spine, cold, then blazing hot. Betrayal. It hits like a physical blow. The one adult who acted kind was never kind. He was using Naruto the way the village always uses Naruto, as a tool, as a scapegoat, as a target. Naruto's hands tremble. His body shifts into a fighting stance without him thinking. It's instinct. It's survival. Mizuki laughs. If you attack me, he says, casual, I will kill you. Naruto's teeth grind. Why? He shouts. Why did you do this? Mizuki's face twists into something ugly. Because I can. Because I want to get stronger. That scroll was written by the fourth Hokage, and now it's mine. He reaches back and hurls a giant shuriken. Naruto moves too late, and Iruka throws himself in front of him. Metal tears into flesh. Iruka crashes down, coughing, blood soaking his vest. Naruto's vision tunnels. Iruka's voice is strained but fierce. Run, he gasps. You idiot, run. Something inside Naruto snaps. It isn't just anger, it's a decision. He looks at Mizuki. And for the first time in his life, Naruto's voice comes out low and sharp, without a single trace of a joke. Try it, Naruto says. Try it, trash. Mizuki hesitates, because the chakra rising off Naruto suddenly feels wrong. Too strong. Too deep. Too mature, like it belongs to someone else. Naruto forms the seals. Multiple shadow clone technique. The world explodes into orange. One Naruto becomes 10, 10 becomes 100, 100 becomes 1,000. They fill the clearing like a flood, eyes bright, grins sharp, fury controlled into something lethal. Mizuki backs up, panic flashing across his face. Naruto's clones speak from everywhere at once. What's wrong? One taunts, hanging upside down from a branch. Weren't you going to kill us in one shot? Another says, stepping forward. Mizuki's throat bobs. He tries to swing. He tries to shout. He tries to run. He gets buried. Fists crash into him like a storm. Kicks hammer him into the earth. Naruto's clones don't play. They don't hold back. They hit like boys who have never been protected by anything except their own teeth. Mizuki goes down hard, and Naruto stands there breathing like he's just sprinted out of hell, staring at the unconscious teacher who tried to use him as a sacrifice. Behind Naruto, Iruka coughs again, and Naruto spins, rushing to him. Iruka is bleeding badly. He should be furious. He should be scared. He should look at Naruto like everyone else does. He doesn't. He looks at Naruto like Naruto is still Naruto, like he's still worth saving. The Hokage arrives soon after, taking in the scene with quiet, terrifying understanding. Ninja, secure, Mizuki. Medics move in. Naruto stands there clutching the scroll, waiting for punishment, waiting for the village to finally declare him guilty. Instead, the third Hokage speaks gently. Naruto doesn't fully hear it. He hears only the part that matters, the part that digs into his chest. Iruka says Naruto has earned it. Iruka says Naruto is a ninja. And then Iruka holds out a forehead protector. Naruto takes it with hands that shake like they don't trust reality. He ties it on. The metal plate catches the moonlight. For a second, he doesn't move. Like if he breathes too hard, it will vanish. Then Iruka smiles. Small, tired, real. Let's celebrate, Iruka says. I'll buy you ramen. Naruto's face tightens like he's fighting something. A sound tries to get out of him, laughing, crying, both at once, and he swallows it. Then he steps forward and wraps Iruka in a hug so tight it almost hurts. Iruka stiffens, surprised, then lets out a shaky breath and pats Naruto's back like he's accepting the truth. Naruto doesn't say thank you, he just holds on. Because he's terrified that if he lets go, he'll wake up and be alone again. And somewhere above the trees, in the quiet distance between the village and the night, the wind moves like it's carrying secrets. Because Naruto doesn't realize it yet, but tonight isn't just the day he becomes a ninja. Tonight is the day someone finally sees him. And the day something hidden inside him stirs, listening, waiting, as if this headband is only the first lock coming undone. Naruto doesn't know how to name the feeling. He only knows it's there, humming under his skin like a second heartbeat. He leaves the trees with his new metal plate catching moonlight, ramen steam still clinging to his clothes, and he walks back into Konoha like a boy who has finally been allowed to exist. For one night, the village feels quieter. Not kinder, not warmer, just quieter. He sees eyes on him, always eyes. The same doorway shadows, the same stiff shoulders that turn away too late. The same adults who can't decide if they want to spit, pray, or run. Naruto keeps moving anyway, because stopping means letting the hate catch up. He tells himself he doesn't care. He tells himself the forehead protector is proof. Proof that the village can't pretend he's nothing anymore. Proof that he is real. By morning, reality bites back. Naruto wakes to an alarm clock screaming like a dying bird. He slaps at it until it stops, rolls over, and tries to go back to sleep like sleep can erase responsibility. He's a deep sleeper. He's always been a deep sleeper. Iruka's lectures about punctuality have bounced off him for years like kunai off stone. This time, the stakes are different. He sits up, blinks, sees the headband on the table. His heart jumps. His headband. He's still smiling when he trips over his own battered table leg in the kitchen and hisses a curse. He grabs milk from his cheap fridge, bread from wherever it lives in his apartment, and eats like a starving animal because his body doesn't know how to be calm when something important is happening. He changes fast. Orange, because of course it's orange. The goggles go into a drawer with a reluctant pause. That part of him is a memory now. He ties the forehead protector on instead, staring at himself in the mirror like he's checking if the universe is messing with him. Dashing, Naruto mutters, forcing the grin. Then he sprints. The streets are almost empty at first, and Naruto flies through them like the village owes him a head start. Then he hits the shopping district, the crowd thickening, people moving slow, and he feels time choking him. He dives into an alley, makes a shadow clone without thinking, and uses it as a springboard to launch onto a rooftop with a crash that makes someone inside scream. He keeps going. He tries chakra to his feet, something he's seen real ninja do, and it works too well. The jump carries him high, fast, glorious, and then he comes down through a shop roof like a meteor. Pottery explodes. Dust fills the air. Naruto lands in a crouch, eyes wide, and hears the shop owner roaring his name like a death sentence. Matsushima remembers him. Matsushima hates him. Naruto bolts out of the wrecked store with shards cracking underfoot, the man lumbering after him like vengeance in an apron. Naruto dodges shoppers, apologizes to nobody, and reaches the academy with his lungs on fire. He makes it inside right as the last of the new genin are being ushered in. Close enough. He slams his hands on his knees, gulping air, and tries to look like he didn't just commit architectural violence. In the classroom, everyone is different now. Not older, not taller, just sharpened. They're wearing the same faces, but there's a new tension in their posture, a new awareness in their eyes. These aren't academy kids anymore. These are tools about to be assigned. Naruto wants to be excited. He is excited. But he's also terrified. Iruka arrives with a slight limp and fresh bandages. He should look angry. He looks tired, and somehow that's worse, because it means the world keeps moving no matter what happens to people like Iruka. Beginning today, Iruka says, voice steady, All of you are real ninja, but you are still only Jinin. The hard part is just starting. Naruto beams like he might vibrate apart. Iruka continues, and the room quiets like a blade being drawn. Today is the day we give you your 3-man teams. Each team will have a Jonin sensei. You will follow that sensei's instructions as you complete your assigned duties. Murmurs ripple, dreams ignite, panic sparks. Naruto's dream team forms instantly in his head. Sakura, another pretty girl, maybe 2. Sasuke nowhere near them. Naruto, the heroic center of it all. He's halfway into a fantasy that makes his face heat when Iruka adds one more line that knocks him back into the real world. We tried to balance each team's strength, Iruka says, which means some long-standing traditions are being set aside this year. That turns heads. Because everyone knows the tradition, the top students get paired in a certain way. The dead last ends up with whoever the village thinks can carry him. It's a cruel math equation the academy has been using forever. Iruka begins reading names. Team 10, Nara Shikamaru, Hyuiga Hinata, Akimichi Choji. Naruto's brows lift. That's not what he expects. Hinata isn't even placed with her usual group. Shikamaru looks like he might fall asleep standing up. Then Iruka keeps going. Team 7, Haruno Sakura, Inuzuka Kiba, Uchiha Sasuke. The room erupts. Girls revolt. Sakura looks like she just won a war. Kiba barks a laugh like fate is hilarious. Sasuke remains Sasuke quiet, sharp, and unreachable. Naruto's stomach drops straight through the floor. No, he whispers, like the universe might negotiate. Iruka continues. Team 9, Yamabe Anzai, Yamanaka Ino, Aburame Shino. Naruto hears Ino and registers it like a spark. She's on a team with a quiet bug kid and someone he barely remembers. Not the normal setup. Not the way it's supposed to be. The balancing Iruka mentioned is real. Naruto should be paying attention for his own name. Instead, he's spiraling. Sakura is gone. Just like that, his dream team collapses. He sits there with a smile that has nowhere to go, and the familiar humiliation tries to climb back into his throat. He stares at Iruka and decides, very calmly, that Iruka deserves itching powder in his clothes for this. Iruka finishes the announcements with a serious tone that forces Naruto to look up again. Don't assume how good you are based on your academy scores, Iruka warns, eyes sweeping the room. And don't think you know everything about someone. It lands heavier than a normal teacher speech, like Iruka is trying to protect him from the village, like he's trying to protect Naruto from the village. Then he dismisses them to meet their new sensei. And the real waiting begins. Teams gather. Students huddle. Some are loud with excitement, some are silent with dread. Naruto watches Sakura leave with Sasuke and Kiba and forces himself not to choke on it. He scans the room for his own group. His name doesn't get called with the others, because Naruto is unusual, and Konoha doesn't know what to do with unusual unless it can turn it into a weapon. While Naruto waits, elsewhere in the village, the third Hokage stands at a window looking out over Konoha like he's staring at something only he can see. Smoke curls from his pipe. His hands are clasped behind his back. A masked shinobi stands in the room, silver hair visible, posture lazy, book in hand like the world can't touch him. Kakashi. Preliminary report says Naruto not only learned a forbidden technique, Kakashi says, voice dry, but used it with surprising results to defeat Mizuki. The Hokage doesn't look surprised. He looks resigned. Like fate is repeating itself, and he's too old to pretend it isn't. What now? Kakashi asks. The Hokage's eyes narrow, and for a moment there is steel behind the old man's calm. Now, he says quietly, I get to see Anko-chan about a teaching job. Kakashi pauses, book lowering just enough to show disbelief. You wouldn't. The Hokage's mouth twitches. I would? Kakashi sighs, because he understands what the Hokage is really saying. Naruto won't survive under normal handling. Naruto will be crushed by normal expectations, normal teachers, normal rules. He needs someone who doesn't treat him like glass, someone who treats him like a blade. Back at the academy, Naruto finds out what his balance looks like. It's not a normal team. It's not even a normal assignment. He's told to wait, and he waits. Minutes stretch into hours. Teams peel away with their Jonin sensei. Naruto watches them go until the classroom is mostly empty and the sunlight shifts. He pretends he isn't bothered. He swings his legs. He taps his forehead protector. He hums like a bored kid. Inside, he's boiling. When someone finally tells him where to go, it isn't a classroom, it's a rooftop. Naruto climbs and the wind hits him hard. The village spreads out below him like a map. He squints into the light and sees nobody. He blinks. Then he shouts into the emptiness. Hey, where's my sensei? Silence answers. He paces. He fumes. He waits longer. By the time a figure finally appears, Naruto has been up there so long, his anger has turned into something darker. The new arrival lands like a predator dropping from a tree. She wears a short skirt, mesh underlayer, and a grin like she's delighted by the idea of someone screaming. Her dark hair frames a face that belongs to trouble. Her eyes are sharp. She looks like a kunoichi who stopped caring about what decent people think years ago. Anko Mitarashi. Naruto stares at her, startled into silence. She looks him up and down like she's judging the quality of meat at a market. Then she smirks. "You're late." Naruto's jaw drops. "I've been here for 2.5 hours, Anko says, cutting him off like she's been timing him. "Which means if you had any respect for your own survival, you would have left." Naruto bristles. "I'm not leaving, I'm a ninja now." Anko's grin widens like that's the funniest thing she's heard all day. "Are you?" Naruto's fists clench. He can feel the urge to shout rising. He can feel the instinct to prove himself. That instinct has always gotten him punched. But it's also the only reason he's still standing. Anko crosses her arms. "Here's how this works. I don't accept weaklings. I don't accept idiots. And I definitely don't accept loud brats who think a forehead protector means anything." Naruto glares. "Then why are you here?" Anko's eyes flicker just for a second and Naruto catches it, something like curiosity, like she's studying a problem. "Because the Hokage asked," she says lightly, "and because I'm bored." She steps closer until Naruto can smell faint smoke and steel on her clothes. "You want to be my apprentice?" she asks. Naruto hesitates. The word hits differently than student. Apprentice sounds permanent. Apprentice sounds like being claimed. He nods anyway. "Yeah, I'm going to be Hokage." Anko laughs, one short, sharp bark. "Then you better learn how to steal." Naruto blinks. "What?" Anko points a thumb over her shoulder. "There's a man in this village with silver hair, a mask, and a very educational book." Naruto's eyes widen. "Oh, that book! I know that book. It's a naughty." Anko ignores him. "Steal it." Naruto's brain stalls. "Steal? A book?" Anko's smile turns cruel. 3 hours. "If you bring it back, I accept you. If you don't, you're not worth my time." Naruto wants to argue, wants to shout that this is insane. But a cold part of him understands the test immediately. This isn't about a book. This is about whether Naruto can move in the real shinobi world without getting killed. Anko's eyes narrow. "Go." Naruto's gaze hardens. He nods once. Then he's gone, an orange blur launching off the rooftop like a fired arrow. Halfway through the village, he almost stops at Ichiraku. The smell of ramen grabs him by the throat. His stomach growls like a betrayal. He forces himself onward. He searches rooftops and streets, scanning for silver hair, scanning for a mask, scanning for a man who moves like he owns the air around him. And then he sees him. Kakashi Hatake strolls down a semi-empty market street like he doesn't have a care in the world, book open, one eye half-lidded in lazy amusement. Naruto drops from above and lands in a crouch directly in front of him, grinning with all the confidence of a boy who hasn't learned what Jonin really means. "Hey, hey!" Naruto shouts. Kakashi keeps walking. Naruto's grin twitches. "I'm talking to you." Kakashi doesn't even look up. And then, without warning, he's behind Naruto. Naruto's body goes stiff. His eyes go wide. His brain screams. "How?" Naruto starts, spinning. Kakashi's visible eye curves like he's smiling under the mask. "You're loud," he says. "That's not a compliment." Naruto's pride flares. He forms seals, breath-quickening, and shadow clones pop into existence around them like a sudden crowd. Kakashi's posture doesn't change. Naruto points dramatically. "Give me that book." Kakashi glances down at the pages like Naruto just asked for the weather. "No." Naruto lunges. Clones rush from multiple angles. Kunai flash. Naruto throws like he's trying to drown Kakashi in metal. Kakashi steps aside with casual grace. A kunai meant for Kakashi sails past him and embeds into a clone instead, dispelling it in a puff of smoke. Kakashi chuckles, as if Naruto's strategy is a joke told badly. "Hey," Kakashi says lazily, "I thought you wanted to fight me, not yourself." Naruto growls. His clones snarl with him. Kakashi's visible eyebrow lifts. "You know," he adds, voice mild, "you shouldn't reveal yourself with emotional reactions. It makes it too easy." Naruto's anger spikes. Kakashi continues, "Because he's enjoying this, I know. Why don't you go home and try again tomorrow? Maybe ask someone for strategy pointers." He pauses like he's considering something. "That Uchiha kid seems bright. I'm sure he could help." Naruto's vision goes red. "You bastard!" Naruto screams, hurling a kunai with all his rage. Kakashi doesn't bother moving. He doesn't even glance up from his book. Because the kunai is off, it's going to miss him by inches, and it's going to hit one of Naruto's clones in the path. Kakashi almost laughs out loud. Then something changes. The clone that should have been impaled moves with sudden precision, catching another Naruto mid-flight, catching the real one and twisting their positions in the air like a dance. The kunai passes harmlessly. And before Kakashi can fully register what just happened, a hand snatches the book out of his grasp. Kakashi's head lifts sharply. The page is empty in his hand. Naruto lands on a rooftop with the stolen book pressed to his chest, panting like he just wrestled a storm. His eyes are wide, half terror, half triumph. He did it. He stole from a jonin. His heart pounds with the kind of victory he's never tasted before. He doesn't stay to savor it. He bolts. He returns to the rooftop where Anko waits, sliding in like he's about to crash into her. He holds the book out like an offering, chest heaving, grin feral. Anko takes it slowly, flipping it open with a glance that is far too amused for a responsible adult. Naruto shifts awkwardly. So, I pass? Anko snaps the book shut. Her grin turns sharp again. You pass, she says, against all logic. Naruto pumps a fist, almost shouting, but Anko's eyes harden. Listen carefully, she says, voice low. You're not on some cute academy team anymore. You're under me. If you slack off, you die. If you get cocky, you die. If you hesitate when it matters, someone else dies. Naruto's smile falters. Anko leans in, eyes bored and dangerous. You want to be Hokage? Then stop acting like the village owes you anything. The village will take everything you have and call it duty. Naruto swallows. Anko straightens, then turns and leaps to her feet like she's already done with this conversation. I need to put a training regimen together, she mutters. I've never been a sensei before, so you're my first mistake. Naruto blinks. Wait, when do we start? Anko glances back with a grin that makes Naruto's spine go cold. Tomorrow, she says, early. Then she vanishes into the city like a shadow. Naruto stays on the rooftop for a moment, staring after her, and then he starts cheering. He dances. He throws his arms up. He laughs like he's trying to chase away every insult the village ever fed him. He's a ninja. He has a sensei. He's moving forward. Quit pause. If you're locked in right now and you want the whole altered timeline, hit like, drop a comment, and stay subscribed, because this is where Naruto's path stops being normal and starts being dangerous. Naruto's celebration lasts exactly long enough for the wind to shift. A presence steps onto the rooftop behind him, silent as a thought. Naruto turns, grin still on his face, and it freezes. Kakashi Hatake stands there with both eyes exposed, not one relaxed and half-lidded, both open, both glowing red. The Sharingan spins like a warning sign. Where's my book? Kakashi asks, voice calm in a way that makes Naruto's stomach drop. The one you stole from me. Naruto's mouth goes dry. I don't have it, he stammers, even as his brain screams that lying to this man is the dumbest thing he has done today. Kakashi's eyes narrow. His hands crack their knuckles, slow and deliberate. And he takes one step closer. Naruto's throat tightens. He can't decide whether to run, fight, or apologize so fast it turns into a new language. The rooftop suddenly feels smaller, like the sky is lowering to watch. Kakashi doesn't rush. He doesn't need to. He just stands there with the Sharingan rotating calm as a guillotine. Naruto lifts his hands. Okay, listen, it was a test. Kakashi's voice stays even. A test by who? Naruto's brain scrambles. He remembers Anko's grin. He remembers her warning. He remembers, sharply, that sensei politics in this village are like knives in sleeves. Anko-sensei, Naruto blurts. She told me to steal it. Kakashi pauses. The tiniest shift in his posture says he's processing that name like a curse. Anko, he repeats. Not angry, just familiar with trouble. Naruto nods too quickly. Yeah, she's my sensei. She said if I got it, I'd pass. Kakashi's visible mouth doesn't move, but his eyes soften by a fraction. The Sharingan still spins, but the pressure changes, like a storm pulling back from the edge of the village. You're her student, Kakashi says, not a question. Naruto jabs a thumb at his chest. That's right, apprentice. Or student. Or her first mistake, I think. She said that. Kakashi's gaze flicks across Naruto like he's seeing him properly for the first time. Not as a loud nuisance, but as something the Hokage has decided to shape. You don't have the book, Kakashi says. Naruto shakes his head. No. I gave it back. She took it. Kakashi exhales through his nose, and for a moment, Naruto thinks he's going to laugh. Instead, Kakashi looks past Naruto toward the village rooftops, like he's checking angles, lines of sight, threats that don't exist for normal people. You shouldn't lie, Kakashi says quietly. Naruto flinches. I didn't. You were going to? Kakashi cuts in, flat. You tried. That hesitation, that's the part that gets you killed. Naruto's cheeks burn. He hates being corrected. He hates being measured. He hates the way Kakashi says things like he's already seen Naruto die 10 different ways in his head. But Kakashi isn't wrong. Kakashi takes a step closer. The Sharingan's red glow catches the moonlight like blood on steel. You moved strangely during that fight, Kakashi says. Your clone corrected your trajectory mid-air. Naruto blinks. My clone did what? Kakashi's eye narrows. You didn't notice. Naruto's stomach drops. He wants to lie again. Wants to pretend he did. Wants to pretend he meant to. Because that's what he does when he doesn't know something. But Kakashi's gaze pins him. Naruto swallows. No, he admits. I was just trying not to die. Kakashi stares at him for a long second, then the Sharingan fades, the red vanishes, his eye returns to its normal gray calm. I'll retrieve my book from Anko, Kakashi says. And I'll retrieve something else from you. Naruto stiffens. Huh? Kakashi lifts 2 fingers and flicks Naruto's forehead protector with annoying gentleness. Naruto's head jerks back. Hey, Kakashi's voice remains mild. Control. You have a lot of chakra. Too much for your skill level. That's why your basic clone fails. It's not because you're stupid. Naruto freezes. That sentence hits harder than any punch. Not because it's kind, because it's matter of fact. Because it suggests Naruto's problem isn't that he's worthless. It's that he's built wrong for the test. Naruto's lips part. So, I'm not trash? Kakashi's eye curves slightly. You're loud trash, he says. But not because you're weak. Naruto's face heats, but the insult lands softer than the truth underneath it. Kakashi turns as if he's done here. Then he pauses, glancing back over his shoulder. If Anko is training you, he says, you'll need to learn how to hide your chakra signature. Otherwise, you'll never survive a real mission. Naruto frowns. Hide it? Why? Kakashi's voice goes colder without changing volume. Because there are people in this world who can smell what you are. Naruto's spine chills. Kakashi vanishes in a blur, leaving the rooftop empty again, as if he was never there at all. Naruto stands frozen, staring at the spot where Kakashi stood, heart punching his ribs. What I am, Naruto whispers. The wind doesn't answer. He goes home. He tries to sleep. He fails. He keeps hearing Kakashi's words. He keeps seeing the spinning red eye. He keeps feeling that strange pulse inside him, like something behind a door has leaned closer to listen. Morning comes like a slap. Naruto is up before his alarm. That alone feels suspicious. He eats quickly, checks his headband 3 times, and bolts toward the training grounds because if he's late for Anko, she will not just yell, she will smile. And that's worse. He reaches the edge of the forest outside the village where the training fields spread wide, dirt packed hard by years of shinobi abuse. The air smells like grass, sweat, and old blood that has sunk too deep to wash out. Anko is already there, sitting on a log like she's been waiting for him since yesterday just to judge him. You're early, she says, sounding disappointed. Naruto puffs his chest. I'm a dedicated ninja now. Anko hops down, walks in a slow circle around him like he's a new weapon she's inspecting. Dedicated, she repeats. Cute. Naruto's grin tightens. So what's the training? Anko snaps her fingers. A kunai whips past Naruto's ear. Naruto jerks, barely ducking. The blade cuts a strand of hair and pins it to the tree behind him. Naruto's heart slams. What the? Anko is suddenly in front of him, close enough that Naruto can see the thin scar lines at the corners of her grin. Her eyes are bright with amusement. Rule 1, she says, you don't get comfortable, ever. Naruto yanks the kunai out of the tree, face red with fury. You could have killed me. Anko shrugs. Could have, didn't. Naruto opens his mouth to scream again, but Anko lifts a finger and the air shifts. Her chakra flares just enough for Naruto's instincts to shriek. He shuts up. Anko nods. Good, you learn fast when you're scared. Naruto hates that she's right. Anko points to the ground. Sit. Naruto sits. Suspicious. Suspicious. Anko squats in front of him, elbows on her knees. You stole from a jonin. That's impressive. But you didn't do it by skill. Naruto bristles. I did too. Anko tilts her head. You did it by accident. Naruto's mouth snaps shut. Anko continues, voice casual. Your clones moved like they had more awareness than you. That's not normal, which means either you're hiding training or you have instincts you don't understand. Naruto's throat tightens. I'm not hiding anything. Anko's gaze sharpens like she's cutting into him. Then you're dangerous, she says simply, because you don't know what you are. Naruto's hands curl in the dirt. Stop saying that. Anko's smile fades into something more serious. The Hokage assigned you to me for a reason, she says, and I don't do soft landings. If you want to survive, you learn control, and you learn restraint. And you learn to move like a shinobi, not a screaming firework. Naruto glares. I can fight. Anko nods. You can swing. There's a difference. She stands and points deeper into the forest. Run. Naruto blinks. Run where? Anko's grin returns, wicked. Run until you drop. Naruto's jaw drops. That's it? Anko flicks her wrist and a second kunai embeds in the ground between Naruto's feet. Naruto jumps. Anko's eyes gleam. Now. Naruto bolts. At first, he thinks it's stupid. He sprints through the trees, arms pumping, breathing hard, annoyed that this is his first real training. He keeps expecting Anko to appear and attack him from the side. She doesn't. She lets him run. Minutes turn into an hour. Naruto's lungs burn. Sweat drenches his shirt. His legs ache, then numb, then ache again. He trips over roots, catches himself, keeps going because pride won't let him stop. Finally, he stumbles into a clearing and collapses to his knees, gasping like he's drowning on air. Anko steps out of the trees like she's been walking casually behind him the entire time. Naruto wheezes. You? Psycho? Anko squats beside him. Talk less, she says. Breathe more. Naruto glares up at her. Why are we doing this? Anko taps his chest. Because you're a chakra furnace, she says. And you burn through fuel like you think you'll never run out. Naruto coughs, still angry, still listening. Anko continues. Every technique costs. Every movement costs. Every emotion costs. In the academy, they teach you forms. They don't teach you why you fail. Naruto's eyes narrow. So why do I fail? Anko leans closer. Because you pour too much chakra into small molds, she says, voice low. You overflow. The technique collapses. Your clone turns into sludge. Naruto stares. So, what do I do? Anko's grin returns. You learn to drip, she says. Not flood. She stands and tosses Naruto a small leaf. Naruto catches it. A leaf? Anko points at his hand. Focus your chakra into the leaf without shredding it. Keep it alive. Keep it steady. Do it while you run. Naruto stares at her like she's insane. Anko's eyes go sharp. Do it. Naruto exhales, rises shakily, and starts walking, then jogging, then running again, leaf clenched in his fist like it's a tiny hostage. At first, it's impossible. His chakra surges the moment he concentrates, and the leaf crumples, tears, turns into pulp. He swears. Anko doesn't react. She just watches with the bored patience of someone who has seen better people fail harder. Naruto tries again. Again. Hours pass in a brutal rhythm. Run. Focus. Fail. Start over. His body screams. His mind screams. And somewhere in the middle of it, Naruto stops thinking about impressing anyone. He starts thinking about surviving. The leaf stops tearing as fast. It still shakes under his chakra like a frightened animal, but it stays whole longer. Anko's expression shifts slightly, approval disguised as indifference. Good, she says. Now, next step. Naruto pants. There's more? Anko points to the river. Naruto follows her to the water where the current runs quick and cold. She tosses another kunai into the mud at the bank. Stand on the surface, she says. Naruto blinks. Like water walking? Anko tilts her head. You know it? Naruto lifts his chin. I've seen it. Anko smirks. Seeing isn't knowing. Naruto steps onto the water and immediately sinks to his waist with a yelp. Anko laughs. Naruto flails back onto shore, soaked and furious. Shut up! Anko's grin is merciless. Again. Naruto tries, sinks, tries, sinks. Each time he sinks, he feels his chakra surge wildly, like his instinct is to blast the water into submission. It doesn't work. The water doesn't care about Naruto's anger. Anko watches him struggle until his teeth chatter. Then she finally speaks again, voice low enough that it feels like a secret. Water teaches you control because it punishes excess, she says. If you blast too much, the surface breaks. If you use too little, you sink. Naruto shivers, eyes narrowing. Drip, he mutters. Anko nods. Drip. Naruto tries again. This time, he forces his chakra to quiet. He imagines it like a thin thread instead of a roaring flood. He steps onto the water. For half a second, he stands. Then he falls in again. But the fall is different. It's less violent, less humiliating. Like he's learning. Anko crouches by the bank, voice sharp. Again. Naruto climbs out, drenched, exhausted, and tries again. Again. By late afternoon, Naruto manages 3 full steps across the surface before he slips. He splashes into the river, sputtering, hair plastered to his forehead protector. He crawls back to shore and sits in the mud, panting, shaking, glaring at the water like it personally offended him. Anko stands over him, eyes unreadable. You learn fast, she says, for someone who used to fail. Naruto's chest tightens. I didn't used to fail, he snaps, because the word still hurts. I just wasn't taught right. Anko's lips twitch. Yeah, she says. That's the village for you. Naruto wipes water from his eyes. So what now? When do we do cool jutsu? Anko's gaze slides away toward the trees. Her grin fades. When she speaks again, her voice is quieter. Tomorrow, she says, we talk about killing. Naruto's stomach drops. Anko turns and starts walking. Naruto scrambles after her, still wet, still aching. Killing who? He demands. Anko glances back over her shoulder. Anyone, she says. Everyone. Naruto swallows. That's crazy. Anko's smile returns, sharp as a blade. That's shinobi. She leads him back toward the village in silence, and Naruto follows, mind churning, heart heavy. That night, Naruto lies in bed and stares at the ceiling. He tries to imagine killing someone. He tries to imagine being ordered to do it. He tries to imagine what it would feel like to cross that line. And the thing inside him, the thing Kakashi warned about, doesn't recoil. It listens. The next morning, Anko doesn't take him to the training grounds. She takes him to a cemetery. Naruto steps slow as they pass rows of stones. Names carved into rock. Dates, symbols. Some graves are fresh. Some are old enough that moss has crept into the letters. Naruto's throat tightens. Why are we here? Anko stops in front of one grave. Naruto reads the name and doesn't recognize it. That's the point. This is one of the thousands of shinobi Konoha has used and forgotten. Anko folds her arms. Every ninja thinks they'll be special, she says. Every ninja thinks death happens to other people. Naruto tries to joke. I'm definitely special. Anko looks at him, and for once she doesn't smile. You're not special to death, she says. Death doesn't care about your dream. Naruto's grin fades. Anko points at the stone. This guy was stronger than you, she says. Smarter, faster, better trained. He died because he hesitated. Naruto's chest tightens. Hesitated? Anko nods. He saw an enemy he could have killed, she says. He thought, what if they surrender? What if I can be better than this? And in that moment, the enemy slit his throat. Naruto swallows hard. Anko steps closer, voice dropping. So here's your lesson, she says. There are no clean fights. There's no fair. There's no honorable duel where both sides bow and clap afterward. Naruto's hands clench. Then what am I supposed to be? Anko's eyes lock onto his. Decisive, she says. Naruto's breathing quickens. So I'm supposed to just kill whoever they tell me to? Anko's gaze sharpens. No, she says. You're supposed to know when not killing is the mistake. Naruto stares, confused. Anko's expression hardens into something raw. I've seen children die because someone wanted to be kind, she says. Kindness is expensive in this world. If you can't afford it, it kills you. Naruto's throat tightens. He thinks of Iruka throwing himself in front of him. That was kindness. That almost killed Iruka. Naruto whispers, so Iruka was wrong? Anko's eyes flicker, and for a second something human crosses her face. Then she buries it again. Sometimes, she says quietly, the only reason kindness doesn't kill you is because someone stronger pays the bill. Naruto's stomach turns. Anko steps back. Now, she says, voice sharp again, show me your clones. Naruto blinks. Here? Anko points between the graves. Here. Naruto hesitates, looking at the stones, feeling suddenly like he's being disrespectful, like he's about to perform a trick in a sacred place. Anko sees the hesitation and her mouth curls. Don't get sentimental, she says. Sentiment gets you killed. Naruto's jaw tightens. He forms the hand signs. Shadow clones explode into existence. 20, then 50, then more, filling the cemetery path like an army of orange ghosts. Anko's eyes narrow. Too many, she snaps. Naruto bristles. But it works. Anko moves in a blur. She appears behind one clone and chops its neck. Poof. She appears behind another. Poof. She tears through them so fast Naruto can barely track her movement. See? She says, voice sharp as she moves. You're wasting chakra. You're making a crowd, not a plan. Naruto's clones shout, rush her, try to grab her. She slips through them like smoke, destroying them with surgical precision. Naruto watches, shocked, angry, and then something clicks. Anko isn't just killing clones. She's teaching Naruto what a real shinobi looks like. Efficient, cold, controlled. Naruto's remaining clones pause. Naruto raises a hand and the clones stop completely, turning their heads toward him in perfect unison. Anko slows, surprised. Naruto's eyes narrow, focus sharpening like a blade. Okay, he says, voice low. You want a plan? Anko's grin returns, interested now. Naruto forms one more seal, and suddenly the remaining clones split into groups with different roles, moving into the trees, taking high ground, circling silently. Their footfalls soften, their breathing slows. They stop being a crowd. They become a net. Anko's eyes gleam. There you go, she murmurs. Naruto's clones move as if they share a single mind. One throws a kunai as a distraction, another charges from the side. Another comes from above. Anko dodges, but the rhythm has changed. She's forced to move with more effort now. Naruto's heart pounds, his breath steadies. For the first time, he isn't just reacting, he's directing. Anko ducks a strike, twists, and nearly escapes. And a clone grabs her arm from behind. Anko freezes for a half second, then laughs, delighted. She snaps the clone's wrist, dispels it, and flips back out of the net like a serpent slipping free. Naruto's clones collapse one by one until only Naruto remains, panting. Anko steps forward, eyes bright. "That," she says, "is why the Hokage gave you to me." Naruto wipes sweat from his face. "Because I can make a net?" Anko tilts her head. "Because you can adapt," she says. "And because you have something in you that doesn't break when it should." Naruto's stomach tightens again. "That thing." Anko's smile fades a little. "Yeah," she says, "that thing." Naruto hesitates. "Do you know what it is?" Anko stares at him for a long moment. The cemetery is quiet. The stones watch. Finally she speaks, voice low. "I know what the village whispers," she says. "And I know what the Hokage refuses to let them say out loud." Naruto's blood turns cold. Anko leans closer, eyes sharp. "I don't care," she says. "Not unless it makes you weak." Naruto's voice comes out small despite his effort. "People hate me for it." Anko shrugs. "People hate what scares them," she says. "Make it regretful to be scared." Naruto swallows hard, chest tight with something that isn't quite hope, but isn't despair either. Anko straightens. "Come on," she says. "You're meeting someone." Naruto blinks. "Who?" Anko grins again. "Your first mission." Naruto's heart jumps. "A mission? Already?" Anko nods, and for the first time Naruto sees it. Beneath the grin, beneath the cruelty, beneath the chaos. Anko is serious. "Welcome to the real world," she says. Naruto follows her out of the cemetery, stomach twisting, excitement and fear tangled together. Because missions mean money, missions mean purpose, missions mean danger. And Naruto doesn't realize yet that this one won't feel like a simple errand. Not with the way Anko's eyes keep scanning the rooftops like she expects someone to be watching. Not with the way her hand keeps drifting toward her weapons like she's already preparing to draw blood. Naruto steps through the village gates beside her, headband catching sunlight, and the people who stare at him today don't look like they're just annoyed. They look like they're waiting, like they've been waiting a long time. And Naruto, without meaning to, feels that inner door again. That sealed, listening presence. It stirs, as if it recognizes the word mission and the scent of something coming to hunt. The forest never feels empty out here. It only pretends. Leaves whisper. Insects pulse like a living net. Somewhere, a bird calls once, then stops, like it remembers it shouldn't be heard. Naruto runs anyway. He runs with that stubborn, reckless speed that makes no sense on paper and perfect sense in his bones. He vaults a fallen trunk, lands light, and for half a second he looks almost normal. Just a kid in orange moving through green. Then his hand drifts toward his chest, not to his stomach, not to his weapons, to his heart like he's checking if it's still there. Anko watches him from a branch above, crouched with her knees wide and her fingers relaxed on a kunai. She doesn't call down, she doesn't tease, not yet, because she can feel him, not with eyes, not with ears. With the thin, ugly thread she tied between them the day she decided she wasn't going to lose him to the village's neglect. Kinbaku no jutsu. A binding, a leash, a promise with sharp edges. She keeps it light, just enough to catch the emotional aftershocks that ripple off him when he thinks he's alone. And right now, he is a storm, revulsion, remorse, a sick, twisting fear, and under it all, hardening. Not pride, not pleasure, something worse. Acceptance. Anko's jaw tightens. She remembers the first time her own hands came away wet and warm. She remembers how she shook, how she told herself she'd never do it again, and how Orochimaru had smiled like she'd just passed a test. He'd taught her to turn the shaking into hunger. She looks at Naruto and thinks, not him. Not that. The diplomatic escort pushes forward below them, a loose column of grass shinobi and Konoha's small team weaving through the borderlands toward Kusagakure. The grass ninja talk too loudly. They smile too easily. Their eyes keep sliding to Anko's throat, her hips, her hands. One of them, older, confident, lets his gaze linger like he owns the road. Anko lets her killing intent leak out without moving an inch. It hits him like a fist. His smile dies, his pupils shrink, his body stiffens, and for a second his face shows the truth, pure animal understanding. Predator, not the kind you flirt with, the kind you run from. He stumbles back, muttering something to his friends, and the whole escort suddenly decides to look anywhere but at her. Good. Diplomatic mission. Restraint. That word tastes like ash. Anko drops down behind Naruto without a sound. He startles anyway, spinning, hand half raised. Then he sees her grin. Hey, runt. His face breaks open with relief he doesn't know he's showing. Anko. Don't get soft on me. She jerks her chin toward the road. Move. He falls into step, and she feels the way his emotions jerk, like he's grateful she's here and angry that he needs someone to be here at all. They walk. And the closer they get to Kusa, the thicker the air feels. Not because it's humid, not because the forest is dense, because every border has teeth. The grass shinobi keep glancing back, counting heads, measuring the Konoha pair like they're trying to decide if they're shield or threat. Naruto notices. He always notices, even when he plays dumb. "What's their deal?" he mutters, low enough that only Anko hears. "We're escorting their person. They should be happy." Anko snorts. Nobody's happy. They're relieved and scared and trying not to show it. Scared of what? Of being weak, Anko says. Of being embarrassed. Of being used. Naruto's eyes narrow. Used by who? Anko doesn't answer. Because that's the point of the mission. They already interfered once, ripped apart someone's plan on the road, grabbed one loose thread of a bigger weave, and now someone is going to pull back. Hard. They reach Kusa's outer approach by dusk. The village doesn't loom like Konoha. It hides. Green roofs under green canopy. Walls that look like they grew out of the earth instead of being built. The gates open with practiced efficiency, and the ambassador, Rio, gets ushered through like fragile cargo. Rio doesn't look like cargo. She looks like a person with sharp eyes and a tired mouth, the kind who learned early how to keep smiling while counting exits. She glances back once at Naruto as she passes the threshold. There's gratitude there, and fear. Not of him, of what following him might mean. They're given polite words, official bows, a room in an inn that smells like old straw and newer perfume. Kusa wants them comfortable. Kusa wants them contained. Anko doesn't accept either. She checks the room, checks the windows, checks the alley below, checks the roofline across the street. Naruto drops his pack and flops onto the tatami like he's done something heroic just by breathing. "Food?" he asks immediately. Anko stares at him. He stares back, innocent as a knife. She sighs and tosses him a few coins. "Ramen shop. 10 minutes. And if you talk to anyone, I'll break your legs." He grins. "You love me." "I love silence," Anko says flatly. He's gone in a burst of movement. Anko sits with her back against the wall and closes her eyes. She listens, not for voices, for absence. For the moment, the insects go quiet. For the moment, the air shifts. It doesn't happen right away. That's the worst part, the waiting. The knowledge that someone out there is also waiting. Naruto comes back with steam in his hands and smug on his face. He slurps loudly on purpose. Anko lets him. She needs him to do something normal. She needs his body to remember it can be a boy sometimes, not just a weapon. He finishes, wipes his mouth with the back of his hand, and then, quieter, asks, "So, we're done, right? We delivered her." Anko's gaze flicks to the shuttered window. "We delivered her to the village. Her safety is their job now." Naruto frowns. "Then why do we still feel like we're being hunted?" Anko's smile shows teeth. "Because we interfered." Naruto sits up, suddenly more awake. "So they'll come after us?" "Yes." He swallows. "Tonight? Probably." He looks almost excited for a heartbeat, like danger is just another test. Then the binding between them pulses, and Anko feels the cold edge again. That hardening, that detachment. Naruto looks down at his hands like they belong to somebody else. Anko stands. "We're not sleeping here." Naruto blinks. "What? This place is comfortable." "That's why," Anko says, "comfort gets you killed." They leave the inn without telling anyone. Kusa's sentries watch from the shadows, pretending they aren't watching. Anko lets them pretend. They walk out past the village edge, out into the trees, until the lantern light dies and the world becomes black shapes and softer sounds. Naruto rolls out his sleeping mat with a huff. "Why are we sleeping outside again?" "It's safer," Anko says curtly. Naruto's face twists. "How is it safer when we're literally alone?" Anko squats beside a log and starts setting small things in the dirt, tiny trip points. A thread. A pebble balanced on a leaf. Nothing fancy. "You hear the insects?" she asks. Naruto pauses, listens. "Yeah. They're used to us," Anko says. "We've been walking here, breathing here, making noise here. Outsiders startle them. When someone approaches, they go quiet." Naruto's eyes widen slightly. "Even A and BU?" Anko's mouth twitches. "Not even A and BU can hide from nature." He leans forward. "Not even you?" Anko stares at him, and for a second her expression is too old for her face. "I can count 2 people who can move so quietly that even the world forgets they exist." Naruto's breath catches. "Who?" "Jiraiya-sama," Anko says softly, "and the Yandemi." Naruto absorbs that like it's scripture. Whoa. He hesitates, then asks something that slides out sideways like he's afraid of the answer. "So even your old sensei couldn't?" Anko's eyes harden. "He had other tricks." Naruto nods, and the question dies. The night deepens. They sit with their backs to trees. Naruto keeps glancing at the dark, like he expects it to blink first. Anko lets him. Because eventually, it does. The insects don't stop all at once. It's a slow thinning, a ripple of silence moving toward them. Anko's hand closes around her kunai. Naruto's body tightens. His breathing slows without him thinking about it. Someone is coming. Anko doesn't move. She waits until the silence is close enough to feel like breath on her neck. Then she speaks into the dark, calm as a blade. If you step closer, you die. A shape freezes between trees. Another shape, higher, shifts in a branch. Not A and BU. Not Kusa escort. Their chakra is wrong. Their movement is hungry. Naruto's eyes flash. Assassins. Anko's grin is small and vicious. Good boy. The first attacker lunges. Naruto moves. Fast. Too fast for a Chunin. Fast enough to make even trained killers hesitate for a fraction of a second. The kind of hesitation that becomes a grave. Naruto slips under a swing, pivots, and drives his elbow up into the attacker's ribs. There's a crack. The attacker gasps. Anko takes the branch attacker first. She flickers forward, a shadow that becomes a hand, and the hand becomes a knife. Blood is quiet at night. Naruto turns, kunai in hand now, and the ground attacker scrambles back, eyes wide, realizing he's not fighting a child. He's fighting a thing that learned too early how to survive. The attacker throws a senbon. Naruto twists. One needle grazes his cheek. A thin line of red appears. Naruto touches it, looks at the blood, and something flickers in him. Not fear, not pain. Memory. His first kill wasn't planned. It wasn't a mission objective. It was a moment where his body decided before his mind could argue. Now, the moment is back. The attacker rushes again. Naruto meets him. He slams his shoulder in, hooks the man's arm, and twists until the joint screams. The kunai falls. Naruto catches it mid-air. The assassin's eyes lock on the blade. He knows what comes next. He tries to bargain with his mouth, but his breath is gone. Naruto's hand hesitates, for one heartbeat. Anko feels it through the binding revulsion, remorse, and beneath it, the hardening again. Then Naruto's eyes go flat. He drives the kunai in, not deep, not theatrical, just enough. The assassin collapses, choking on air that won't come right. Naruto stares down. His face is still, but the thread between them screams. Anko steps beside him. She doesn't touch him. Touch would make it real in a different way. You did what you had to, she says. Naruto's voice is quiet. He was going to kill us. Yes. Naruto swallows. I didn't feel. He stops. Like he's afraid of admitting it. Anko watches him anyway. You didn't feel what you thought you should. Naruto nods once. Anko's gaze drifts to the dead man's face. That's normal. Naruto's head snaps up. Normal? Anko's smile is thin, for people like us. That's the worst comfort she can offer. They drag the bodies deeper into the brush. Strip them of anything useful. A symbol on a sleeve. A mark on a blade. Not Kusa, not any village sign. Mercenaries. Bought. Naruto keeps staring at his hands like they'll confess. Anko forces him to eat a little. To drink. To breathe. Then she keeps watch until dawn. When the sun bleeds through the leaves, they return to Kusa like nothing happened. That's shinobi life. Pretend you're not cracked. Pretend you're not bleeding inside. In the village, official meetings begin. Kusa thanks them. Kusa smiles. Kusa assures them everything is under control. Anko hears the lie in the way they overdo it. Naruto sits beside her, restless. Every time a grass official speaks, Naruto's eyes flick to the exits. He's learning. That scares her more than it should. Hours pass in polite hell. Then, finally, release. They're allowed a meal. Anko drags Naruto to a ramen stall anyway because she refuses to let Kusa control even that. They eat. Naruto slurps. Anko chews dango like she's biting down on thoughts. Naruto watches her for a long time, then says, too casually, "Hey Anko." "Hun? What was your first mission like?" Anko's eyes sharpen. "None of your business." Naruto doesn't back down. "Please?" Anko exhales through her nose, annoyed that he's asking the exact question she knows he needs answered. Not curiosity, comparison, permission. He wants to measure himself against her so he can decide if he's becoming a monster or just becoming a ninja. Anko stares at her sake like it's going to offer advice. Then, against every instinct, she talks. "My first mission was nothing like yours," she says firmly. Naruto leans in. Anko's voice goes flatter. "It was during the war with Stone, border village, small, pointless. The kind of place nobody remembers unless it burns." Naruto's throat works. "Did you kill anyone?" "Yeah," Anko says, and her tone dares him to flinch. He doesn't. He only looks, relieved, like he isn't alone. Anko hates that. "It got out of control," she continues. "We were ordered to solve a problem. We solved it. And then the solving kept going. Bodies stopped being enemies and started being shapes. And Oro-sensei," her mouth twists around the name like poison. "He watched me and smiled like I'd done something beautiful." Naruto's eyes widen, caught between horror and fascination. Anko snaps, sudden and sharp. Don't you say, wow. Naruto clamps his mouth shut. Anko forces herself to breathe. Look, this is your first kill. It gets easier. That's not a good thing, but it's true. Just don't dwell on it. Naruto's hand drifts to his chest again. I feel like something's wrong with me. The more I think about it, the less I feel. Like I'm stepping back. Anko's eyes narrow. Because that's the line. That's the line between surviving and becoming what Orochimaru wanted. She grabs her sake cup and shoves it at him. Drink. Naruto stares. That's gross. Drink anyway. He sniffs it, grimaces, and takes a sip like he's swallowing medicine. His face contorts. He sprays it across the counter in a choking cough. The ramen chef makes a noise of pure offense. Anko laughs. Real laughter. Sharp and loud. Naruto glares, wiping his mouth. You did that on purpose. Maybe, Anko says, still grinning. Now you're feeling something, aren't you? Naruto's glare wavers, and for a second the boy is back. Then Anko's laughter fades and her eyes sharpen again. We need to check on the ambassador. Naruto's smile dies. He nods. They move. They don't make it far before the air shifts again. Kusa Shinobi sprint past, faces tight. Whispers flicker like sparks. Naruto grabs one by the sleeve. What's happening? The shinobi jerks free, eyes darting to Anko, then away. Nothing. Go back to your inn. Anko steps forward. Try that again. The shinobi stiffens. There has been an incident. What kind? Anko asks. The shinobi swallows. A poisoning attempt. Naruto's blood runs cold. Ryo. She is alive, the shinobi says quickly. But someone tried. Anko's face goes hard. Where? They lead them through tight streets to a guarded building. Inside, Kusa officials are panicking politely, trying to keep the chaos behind calm voices. Ryo sits on a futon, pale, a cup of bitter antidote in her hands. She looks up when Naruto enters, and her shoulders drop like she's been holding herself upright by sheer stubbornness. You, she breathes. Naruto steps closer. Are you okay? I am, she says, voice steady. Because your teacher does not trust comfort. Anko snorts. Smart woman. A Kusa medic explains quickly. Someone slipped poison into Ryo's tea. Minor dose. Testing. A message more than an attempt. Anko listens, eyes narrowed. Naruto clenches his fists. Who did it? The medic hesitates. A Kusa official clears his throat. We do not know, but we will find them. Anko's smile is all teeth. No, you won't. You'll chase shadows and apologize to yourselves when you fail. The official bristles. This is our village, and she is your responsibility? Anko cuts in. So stop lying and tell me what you suspect. Silence. Then the official admits, low and reluctant, that they believe someone inside the village is helping the attackers. A traitor. Naruto feels the world narrow. Anko feels it too, through the binding. His anger spikes, sharp and hot, but underneath it is something colder. Focus. He's changing. Anko doesn't know if she can stop it. They set a trap. They move Ryo to a different room, one with fewer exits, more eyes. Anko places herself in a shadowed corner like a coiled snake. Naruto takes a position near the window, pretending he's just a guard. Hours crawl. Then the insects outside the window go quiet. Naruto's head lifts. Anko's fingers tighten on her kunai. A figure slips along the roofline, silent enough to be good, not silent enough to be perfect. Naruto's eyes track the movement like a predator learning its own instincts. The figure drops inside. A grass shinobi, young, nervous, hands shaking. A messenger maybe, or bait. He freezes when he sees Naruto. Naruto steps forward, voice calm. Wrong room. The grass shinobi's eyes dart left, right, then he moves anyway, reaching into his pouch. Anko strikes. She's on him before his hand clears the pouch. She slams him to the floor, knee on his spine, kunai at his throat. He gasps. Wait. Naruto crouches beside them, eyes hard. Who sent you? The shinobi trembles. I didn't. Anko twists his arm until he screams. Talk. He babbles then, words pouring out. He was told to deliver a second dose. He was told it would put her down quietly. He was told Kusa would pay him afterward. Naruto's voice is low. Who told you? The shinobi sobs. Noga told me. He said it was for the village. Anko's eyes flash. Noga. A minor grass genin. A name that shouldn't matter, unless it's a cover for someone who does. Anko hauls the messenger up and drags him out. Naruto follows, silent. They take him somewhere private. Somewhere Kusa officials won't interfere. And Anko binds him with rope and chakra like she's done 1,000 times. The messenger is shaking so hard his teeth click. Naruto stands by the door, arms crossed, watching like he's watching himself from the outside. Anko studies the messenger's face and thinks about Orochimaru, about how he used children like tools and called it education. She thinks about Naruto and how she's been doing the same thing, just with better intentions. Intentions don't clean blood. She leans in close to the messenger. Noga is not the one paying you. The messenger flinches. He said. He said what someone told him to say. Anko hisses. So listen carefully. You're going to tell me who you met, where you met them, and what they promised. And if you lie, I will make you beg for death. Naruto doesn't react. That's the problem. The messenger breaks. He spills everything in a rush, names, places, a hidden meeting near the outer canal, a masked man with a voice like sandpaper, money stamped with Fire Country markings. Fire. Naruto's head tilts slightly. Why would Fire pay to kill a grass ambassador? Anko's smile fades. Because that changes everything. Because that doesn't sound like an outside enemy. That sounds like rot inside their own land. Anko stands very still, and through the Kinbaku thread, she feels Naruto's mind latch on to the implication like a hook sinking deep. Someone in Fire Country wants silence. Someone in Fire Country is buying secrets. And if that's true, then this diplomatic escort is just the beginning. Anko turns her gaze to Naruto, and for the first time she doesn't see a brat. She sees a weapon being sharpened by circumstances that don't care if he survives with his soul intact. Outside, the village breathes like it doesn't know it's standing on a knife's edge. Anko tightens the rope around the messenger's wrists and thinks, grimly, that the next move is going to be louder, and somewhere in Kusa, someone realizes their pawn has been caught. The insects outside go quiet again too soon, too sharp, like the forest itself is warning them. Naruto's eyes lift to the window. Anko's hand closes around her kunai, and the knight leans in, ready to strike. Night left Naruto's hands raw and his lungs burning, but the memory of Mizuki's smile kept pushing him forward, until the smile turned into a kunai in Iruka's chest and the truth cracked open like rotten wood. Mizuki had never cared about Naruto graduating. He'd cared about the scroll. He'd cared about using the village idiot as a disposable test subject, the way you send a stray dog into a minefield to see where it explodes. And now Iruka was bleeding because Naruto had believed someone. That was the first thing Naruto learned that night. Betrayal doesn't arrive like a thunderclap. It arrives like kindness. The second thing he learned was that his body already knew how to fight long before his mind caught up. He ran because Iruka told him to run, because Iruka threw himself between Naruto and that spinning death, because Iruka, who had failed him in front of everyone, still decided Naruto was worth protecting when it mattered. Naruto didn't understand it. Not fully. He just felt it, hot and sick in his throat, the kind of feeling that made his teeth grind so hard they hurt. He heard Mizuki's voice chasing him through the trees, cruel and sure of itself, and every word dug into the old wound. Naruto carried around the village like a second shadow. Nobody will mourn, nobody cares, you're alone. He'd heard that in quieter ways his entire life. In shop doors that clicked shut, in whispers that stopped when he walked past, in faces that tightened like they tasted something bitter. Mizuki just said it out loud. Naruto pushed harder, branches snapping under his feet, his sandals scraping bark, his breath tearing like paper. He didn't even realize he'd started crying again until the cold air hit the wetness on his cheeks. The forest blurred, and for a second he hated himself for it. Hated the weakness, hated that he was always the one running, always the one being chased. He landed on a thicker branch, nearly slipped, caught himself, and kept going. Behind him, a presence followed. Fast, controlled, confident. Mizuki wasn't rushing like a man afraid of losing prey. He was pacing like a man enjoying the hunt. Naruto's mind scrambled for something, anything that wasn't panic. The scroll slapped against his back with every leap, a constant reminder that this was the center of it all. Forbidden techniques. The Yondaimi's handwriting. The kind of power Naruto had never been allowed to touch. The kind of power grown men would kill for. And Naruto had it because he'd been stupid enough to trust a teacher. A voice cut through the rustle of leaves. Naruto. It was Iruka's voice, familiar, ragged, urgent. Naruto's heart jolted with relief so sharp it almost made him dizzy. He twisted mid-leap, eyes searching, and saw him. Iruka on a branch ahead, leaning forward like he'd been running for miles, one hand lifted as if to wave Naruto in. The moonlight caught his outline, and for a heartbeat Naruto felt the world steady. Hurry, pass me the scroll, Iruka called, breathless. Mizuki's after it. Naruto's hands tightened on instinct, already reaching for the knot of cloth that held the scroll in place. Then something in him, small, quiet, stubborn, tugged hard. Not logic, not cleverness, something simpler. The way Iruka pushed off trees. The way he landed. The way his weight shifted. Naruto had watched Iruka for years, yelling at him, dragging him out of trouble, arguing with the Hokage on his behalf, bribing him with ramen when he was too angry to listen. Those movements were carved into Naruto's body like muscle memory. This Iruka didn't move like Iruka. Naruto stopped so suddenly the branch shook. His lungs tried to collapse, his legs trembling from the abrupt halt. Iruka, no! The man wearing Iruka's face leaned forward again, impatience flashing for the first time. Naruto! Naruto's mouth went dry. He stared at those eyes. Iruka's eyes. The ones that always softened when Naruto looked down too long. The ones that held guilt like a permanent bruise. These eyes were too clean. Naruto's shoulders rose. His chakra stirred. The forest seemed to hold its breath. Then Naruto moved. He didn't throw a kunai. He didn't form signs. He just launched himself like a stone from a sling shoulder first. Hard, fast, reckless. Impact. The false Iruka flew backward, knocked off balance mid-leap, crashing through leaves and snapping branches on the way down. He hit the ground with a grunt that was nothing like Iruka's voice, and the henge peeled away like smoke and wind. Mizuki glared up at Naruto, eyes wide for half a second before curling into something ugly. Naruto's chest heaved, his hands shook. He didn't feel proud, he felt furious. The kind of fury that empties you out and fills you with something else. Why? Mizuki spat, climbing to his feet. How did you know? Naruto didn't answer. He didn't need to. Because the next second, the Naruto, standing a few steps away from Mizuki, vanished in a puff of smoke. A shadow clone. And behind it, leaning against a tree, blood dark on his vest, shoulders slumped like the night was trying to crush him, was the real Iruka. Mizuki's smile faltered. Iruka lifted his head, eyes narrowed, voice rough but steady. Because I'm Iruka. Naruto's breath caught. For a second he forgot everything, forgot the scroll, forgot the chase, forgot his own fear. He just stared at Iruka, alive, still standing, still between Naruto and the world. Mizuki recovered quickly. His expression twisted into amusement, like this was all still a game he expected to win. You really care enough to give your own life for that brat? Iruka didn't flinch. He looked like he wanted to. His body was trembling, his blood loss obvious, but his eyes stayed locked on Mizuki with a stubbornness Naruto had never seen before. I won't hand the scroll over to an idiot like you. Mizuki laughed, spreading his hands wide like a performer on a stage. You're an idiot, Iruka. Naruto and I are the same. If he uses what's in that scroll, he can do whatever he wants. Naruto's fingers curled tighter around the cloth holding the scroll. A part of him, small, spiteful, starved, heard those words and felt temptation flash like a spark. Do whatever you want. No more doors closing. No more whispers. No more being weak. Iruka's voice cut through it. Yeah, you can. Mizuki blinked, caught off guard. Iruka's gaze didn't leave Mizuki, but his next words landed in Naruto like a hand on his shoulder. Naruto isn't the same as you though. He'll use it to protect this village. Mizuki's face tightened. Heh, you keep thinking that. Iruka coughed, wet, ugly, and for a heartbeat, Naruto thought he might fall. But Iruka stayed upright, bracing himself against the tree. He looked at Mizuki like he was trying to understand how a person becomes this. Why not just run? Iruka asked, voice thin. When you first took it? Mizuki's grin widened, cruel. Because I wanted to make sure it wasn't booby-trapped, he said, like he was explaining basic math, like it was obvious. And who better than the dead last student from the academy to test it? Naruto's stomach turned. Dead last. He'd heard it 1,000 times, but hearing it from Mizuki, hearing it as a justification for using him like trash, made the words taste like blood. Iruka's breathing hitched. He shook his head slowly, as if the disappointment was heavier than the pain. Cowardly. Then he straightened just a fraction, and Naruto saw something shift in him, something that looked a lot like decision. I've acknowledged him as one of my excellent students, Iruka said, voice gaining strength in the way it does when a person speaks from the core of themselves. He may be clumsy so no one accepts him, and he might pull pranks, but he knows what it is to feel the pain of loneliness in your heart. Naruto froze. Nobody talked about his loneliness like that. People talked around it. People used it. People punished him for it. Iruka named it like it mattered. Mizuki's eye twitched, anger finally breaking through his smugness. He opened his mouth, probably to throw more poison, but Iruka spoke again, and this time it sounded like a declaration carved into stone. He is a member of the Hidden Leaf Village, and its #1 troublemaker. He's Uzumaki Naruto. Something inside Naruto cracked. Not in a bad way. In the way ice cracks when spring finally reaches it. His throat tightened, his vision blurred again. But this time the tears weren't from fear. They were from a feeling Naruto didn't have a name for because he'd never been allowed to have it long enough to learn it. Belonging. Mizuki snarled, hand going for his weapon, chakra rising like a wave. Naruto felt his own chakra stir in response, and the scroll on his back seemed suddenly heavier, like it was waiting for him to choose who he was going to be. A kid used as bait. Or a shinobi. Naruto stepped forward, placing himself between Mizuki and Iruka without thinking. Iruka's hand twitched, like he wanted to stop him, like he wanted to say, "Run again," but Iruka didn't. He just watched, breathing hard, eyes tired, trusting Naruto with the decision. Naruto's hands lifted slowly, not in surrender, in preparation. He remembered the feeling from earlier, the way chakra had moved when he finally understood it, the way it surged when he cleared his mind and stopped trying to be what everyone expected. He remembered the ink on the scroll, the diagrams, the forbidden shape of possibility. And then Naruto did the thing he had never done before. He stopped acting like a prankster. He stopped acting like a cornered animal. He acted like a shinobi, his palms pressed together. His breath steadied, one deep pull of air like he was swallowing the night and turning it into fuel. He didn't look at the scroll now. He didn't look at Mizuki's weapon. He looked at Iruka. He looked at the blood on Iruka's vest, the blood Iruka had spilled for him, and Naruto made his choice. The chakra inside him answered. Huge, wild, frightening, and for the first time, Naruto didn't try to choke it down into a pathetic little illusion. He let it rise. He guided it. He aimed it. Mizuki's eyes widened, sensing it. Naruto's voice came out low, steady, nothing like the loud brat who shouted, "I'll be Hokage," to hide how lonely he was. "Watch me," he said. And then the forest exploded in smoke. It isn't one puff. It's a storm. White clouds burst between trees, rolling outward like a sudden fog bank swallowing the moonlight. The branches shake, leaves scatter, the ground disappears under a churning blanket of chakra-made haze. And then the voices start. Dozens, hundreds. Naruto's voice multiplied into a chorus that comes from every direction at once. Mizuki's smile dies on his face. He twists, eyes darting through the smoke, and the first clone drops from above, driving a knee into his shoulder. Mizuki staggers. A second clone slams into his back. A third hooks his arm and wrenches it sideways with a snap of pressure that makes his joint scream. Mizuki snarls, swinging his giant shuriken in a brutal arc. Steel-cut smoke, whistling through where a clone's neck should have been. The clone pops out of existence with a burst, gone, erased, like a candle snuffed. But there are too many candles, too many Narutos, too many fists. Mizuki tries to retreat, tries to make distance, but the clones move like a net tightening. They don't rush in a mindless pile. They come in waves. Some feint, some throw, some wait to punish the dodge. Naruto's eyes are wide, but not confused now. He isn't flailing. He isn't begging the universe to let him win. He's driving. He's directing his own chaos like a weapon. Mizuki throws a kunai toward Iruka without looking cheap, desperate, the kind of move that only works on people who still hesitate. Naruto's body moves before thought. Two clones break off, sprinting for Iruka like shields. One dives. One takes the blade. Smoke bursts. The real Iruka flinches but stays upright, jaw clenched, eyes locked on Naruto like he's watching a kid grow up in seconds. Mizuki's breath hitches. He realizes something important. This isn't the dead last anymore. This is a problem. The smoke thins and streaks as the clones surge forward. Mizuki swings his shuriken again, wider, trying to clear space. Naruto doesn't give it to him. A clone slides under the arc and sweeps Mizuki's ankle. Another catches the shuriken chain and yanks hard. Mizuki's balance breaks. His heel skids. He stumbles. And the moment Mizuki stumbles, Naruto is there, not a clone. Naruto. He drives his fist into Mizuki's face with everything he has. Rage, betrayal, hunger to exist, and Mizuki's head snaps back. Blood sprays in a thin arc that looks almost black under the trees. Mizuki drops. For a heartbeat, there's only Naruto's breathing and the soft creak of leaves in the wind. Then Mizuki laughs. It's wet and ugly, spit thick at the corner of his mouth, but it's laughter all the same. He forces himself up on one elbow, eyes sharp with hatred. You think you won? He coughs. You think the village will clap for you? Naruto's fists clench. Mizuki's voice turns sly, cruel. They'll still hate you. They'll still lock their doors. They'll still whisper, because you're not a kid to them. You're a reminder. Naruto's teeth grind so hard they ache. Mizuki's smile widens. You don't even know, do you? You don't even know what you are. The words hit like ice water. Naruto freezes for half a second, and that half second is exactly what Mizuki wants. He twists, reaching for something tucked under his sleeve. Another blade, another trick. Iruka moves. Not fast, not elegant, just determined. Iruka throws a kunai with the last of his strength. It isn't perfect. It doesn't need to be. It hits Mizuki's hand and pins it to the ground with a wet thud. Mizuki screams. Naruto's clones surge again. The beating that follows isn't heroic. It isn't clean. It's a swarm of boys who have lived their whole life being told they're worthless and finally have permission to swing. Mizuki's voice breaks into pleading, then into choking silence. When it ends, Mizuki lies still. Naruto stands over him, chest heaving, eyes wide and bright. The forest smells like smoke and blood and crushed leaves. Iruka's voice rasps behind him. Naruto. Naruto turns, and the anger drains out of him so fast it almost makes him dizzy. Iruka is slumped against the tree. His face is pale. His breathing is shallow. The bandage around his torso is soaked. Naruto's throat tightens. He moves to Iruka and drops to his knees. "Hey," Naruto says, trying to sound tough, trying to sound like this is nothing. "You're fine. You're—" Iruka's hand grips his sleeve, surprisingly strong. "You did it," Iruka whispers. Naruto blinks, confused. "Did what?" Iruka's eyes soften. "You didn't run," he says. "You stood up." Naruto's lips tremble. He hates it. He hates that he's about to cry again. He hates that he feels like he's been hollowed out and refilled with something that hurts more than loneliness. "I thought you were going to die," Naruto says, voice cracking. Iruka exhales, a faint smile pulling at his mouth like it hurts. "Yeah," he murmurs. "Me too." Footsteps crash through the trees. Jonin. The sound of professional panic. Lights flicker between branches. A voice shouts orders. Then the third Hokage steps into the clearing, and the forest seems to straighten itself around him. He takes in Mizuki's broken body, takes in the scroll, takes in Naruto's clones still lingering in the shadows like ghosts that don't want to leave. His gaze settles on Naruto, not angry, not disgusted, just tired. But there's something else too, something sharp behind the tiredness, recognition. Naruto flinches without understanding why. Iruka tries to rise. The Hokage raises a hand, stopping him gently. Medics move in, fast and efficient. Hands press cloth to wounds. Chakra glows faintly against skin. Naruto stands there, suddenly unsure what to do with his arms. Unsure where to put his eyes. Unsure if the village is about to punish him or praise him or pretend he doesn't exist again. The Hokage's voice is calm. "Uzumaki Naruto." Naruto straightens like a soldier, even though he doesn't know how. The Hokage looks at him for a long moment, then speaks the sentence Naruto has been starving for since he learned the word graduate. "You have demonstrated the will and skill required of a shinobi," the Hokage says. "You will receive your forehead protector." Naruto's breath catches. Iruka, still half conscious, fumbles into his pocket and pulls out the headband with shaking fingers. He holds it out. Naruto takes it like it's fragile, like if he grips too hard, the metal will dissolve. He ties it on with clumsy hands, jaw clenched so tight it hurts. For a second, the world doesn't move. Then Naruto's face crumples, and he laughs and cries at the same time, like his body has no other way to survive the feeling. The Hokage watches him, eyes unreadable, and then looks away as if he's giving Naruto that moment privately, even with an entire squad watching. They bring Naruto back to the village. Mizuki is hauled behind them like a sack of consequences. At the gates, some villagers stare, some faces twist, some mouths open like they want to spit words they've swallowed for years. And the Hokage's gaze sweeps over them like a warning. The crowd thins. The doors don't suddenly open, but something changes, not kindness. Control. That night, Iruka buys Naruto ramen. Naruto eats like a starving animal. He slurps so loud other customers glare. He doesn't care. He keeps glancing at Iruka's bandages like he's making sure the man is still real. Iruka watches him, the exhaustion in his eyes softened by something warmer. "Try not to wreck the shop," Iruka says. Naruto grins through a mouthful. No promises. Iruka sighs, then pauses, voice quiet. "Naruto." Naruto looks up. Iruka hesitates like he's searching for the right words, then says it anyway. "You're not alone." Naruto's grin falters. He looks down at his bowl so no one can see his face, because if he looks up, he might believe it. And believing it is terrifying. Morning comes too fast. The academy feels different when Naruto walks in with the metal plate on his forehead. Students stare, some jealous, some impressed, some uncertain, like they don't know what Naruto is allowed to be now. Naruto soaks it in like sunlight. Then Iruka starts assigning teams, and Naruto's world tilts. Names fall into groups that don't match expectations. People get split from their usual circles like someone is trying to prevent predictable strength from forming. Naruto hears Sakura's name. He hears Sasuke's name. He hears them placed together with someone else, and his grin starts to strain. Then Iruka looks at Naruto, a brief flicker of apology in his eyes, and says nothing. Naruto's name doesn't come with the others. He's told to wait. So Naruto waits, and waits. The classroom empties. The day stretches. The sunlight crawls across the floor like it's mocking him. Naruto tries to laugh it off, tries to act like it's fine, but the old fear crawls up his spine. They're abandoning me again. They're making me the problem again. Finally, someone tells him to go to a rooftop. Naruto sprints there, heart pounding, and finds nothing but wind. He shouts, he fumes, he paces, and when she finally drops from above like a predator landing, Naruto freezes. Anko Mitarashi. She looks him up and down like he's meat, and she's deciding whether it's worth eating. "You're late," she says. Naruto's jaw drops. "I've been here for hours." Anko's grin is lazy and cruel. "Then you learned your first lesson. Time doesn't care about your feelings." Naruto bristles. "Are you my sensei or what?" Anko circles him slowly. "Maybe," she says. "Depends. Depends on what?" Anko stops right in front of him, close enough that Naruto can smell faint smoke and something sharp on her clothes. "Depends on whether you're worth it," she says. Naruto's pride flares. "I'm worth it. I beat Mizuki. I learned a forbidden technique overnight." Anko's grin widens. "You stole a technique," she corrects, "and you used it like a hammer. That's not skill, that's desperation." Naruto's fists clench. "Then teach me." Anko's eyes flicker interest, the kind that looks like hunger. She hooks a thumb behind her, toward the rooftops. "There's a Jonin in this village," she says. "Silver hair. Mask. Always reading a book like he's allergic to reality." Naruto's eyes widen. "Kakashi," Anko nods. "Steal his book." Naruto blinks. "Again with the stealing?" "Ah. 3 hours," Anko says, smiling like she's enjoying his outrage. "Bring it back, you're mine." "Fail, and you go back to being everyone's problem." Naruto's mouth opens to protest, but the memory of Mizuki's smile flashes in his mind and he shuts it. He nods once, and he runs. The hunt becomes a blur of rooftops and humiliation. Kakashi moves like a ghost with no interest in being caught. Naruto throws clones. Kakashi erases them. Naruto tries tricks. Kakashi steps through them like they're smoke. Naruto's rage builds. And then, in a moment Naruto doesn't fully understand, his clones start moving differently. One adjusts another's trajectory. One anticipates Kakashi's step instead of reacting to it. Naruto feels it happen like a muscle twitch, not a plan. And suddenly the book is in his hands. His heart leaps. He doesn't stop to celebrate. He bolts back to Anko. She takes the book, flips it open, snorts at the contents, and snaps it shut. "You pass," she says. Naruto throws his arms up like he just won the world. Anko's grin sharpens. "Congratulations," she says. "Now the village expects you to die quietly." Naruto's smile falters. "What?" Anko steps closer, her voice dropping into something colder. "You're carrying something," she says. "Something the village is terrified of. They'll smile at you today and hate you tomorrow. They'll use you when it's convenient and abandon you when it's costly." Naruto's throat tightens. "So what do I do?" Anko's eyes burn into his. "You become so useful they can't afford to throw you away," she says. Naruto swallows. Anko turns, already walking. "Training starts tomorrow." "Tomorrow?" Naruto barks, scrambling after her. "What kind of training?" Anko glances back with a grin that makes Naruto's skin go cold. "The kind where mistakes hurt," she says. The next days become a grind that strips Naruto down. Control drills. Endurance. Water walking until his feet burn and his pride dissolves into pure stubbornness. Anko doesn't comfort him. She doesn't praise him. She only pushes, like she's trying to hammer a shape into him before the world can break him into something worse. Naruto hates her for it. Naruto needs her for it. And somewhere between collapsing in mud and hauling himself upright again, Naruto starts changing. His chakra stops flaring like a bonfire every time he breathes. It starts moving like something he can aim. Anko notices. She doesn't say she's proud. She just makes the training harder. One afternoon, after a brutal session that leaves Naruto shaking, Anko leads him out beyond the village gates. Naruto squints. "Where are we going?" Anko doesn't answer until they reach the mission board. Naruto's eyes widen at the rows of posted jobs. The shinobi moving with purpose. The sound of coin and duty and danger. Anko points to a slip of paper. "Escort," she says. "Diplomatic." Naruto's heart jumps. "My first mission?" Anko's grin returns. "Your first mission under me," she corrects. "Which means it might actually kill you." Naruto's grin flickers. "Cool." Anko's eyes narrow. "That was a joke," Naruto adds quickly. "Sure it was," Anko says dryly. They're assigned quickly. A grass ambassador needs protection on the road back to Kusagakure. Someone tried to intercept her. Someone wants her quiet. Naruto doesn't fully understand why, but he understands the feeling in Anko's posture. Tight, alert, like she expects the road itself to bite. They leave at dawn. The forest outside Fire Country feels different than the training grounds. The air is thicker, the shadows are sharper. The birds are quieter, and the first ambush comes fast, not a dramatic battle. A sudden strike from the trees, blades flashing, poison needles aimed for the throat. Naruto reacts on instinct. Clones explode into existence. Anko moves like a knife in the dark, cutting down threats before Naruto even sees them. The attackers retreat when they realize what they're facing. Naruto's chest heaves afterward, eyes wide, adrenaline screaming. Anko looks at him and says, "Flat, that was a warning." Naruto swallows. "They'll try again." Anko nods. "Bigger." They reach Kusa by dusk. They deliver the ambassador. They should be done. But the way Kusa's guards look at them, too polite, too careful, tells Anko something rotten is hiding under the surface. That night, the insects go quiet. Anko's hand closes around her kunai. Naruto's body tightens, the training snapping into place. Assassins. They hit like hungry ghosts. Naruto fights. And in the middle of the chaos, he crosses a line. A blade goes in, an attacker goes down. And afterward, Naruto stands there staring at his hands like they belong to someone else. Anko watches him, feeling the tremor inside him that isn't fear. It's the beginning of numbness, the kind that makes killing easier, the kind that makes staying human harder. They return to Kusa the next day and find out it isn't over. Someone tries to poison the ambassador again. This time, Anko catches the courier. The boy breaks under pressure and spills a name. A small name, a low name, a cover. And he mentions a masked man. He mentions Fire Country money. Anko's grin vanishes. Because if Fire Country is funding this, the threat isn't outside the village, it's inside the land. Naruto hears the implication, and something behind his ribs stirs, something sealed, listening, patient, like it recognizes danger, like it recognizes blood. One mid-roll thought cuts through the tension. If you're still with this altered timeline, stay locked in, because what's hiding behind this escort mission is about to drag Naruto straight into the ugliest part of shinobi politics. Anko tightens her grip on the courier's collar, eyes cold. Naruto stands by the door, silent, watching. And outside, the insects go quiet again. Too soon. A shadow moves on the rooftop. Not a guard, not a messenger. Something careful. Something trained. Anko's eyes snap to the window. Naruto's hand lifts, already forming a seal, and the roof above them creaks, just once, like a foot has found its place, ready to drop. Anko moves first. She doesn't look up, she doesn't flinch. She simply slides one step to the side, hand already in motion, and a kunai flashes up toward the ceiling beam like a thought made metal. The blade kisses wood. A hiss answers. Then the intruder drops anyway. A dark shape comes down through the open window with a soft twist of cloth and muscle, aiming for Ryo's futon like a falling knife. Naruto's hands snap into a seal without thinking, and shadow clones explode into existence in a ring. 3, 5, 7 blocking angles, filling the small room with bodies that aren't quite bodies. The intruder lands on a clone's shoulder instead of the floor, slips, corrects, and in that correction Anko is already there, low and fast, her knee slamming into the attacker's ribs. Air leaves the intruder in a wet cough. He tries to recover. He's trained. He's good. He's not good enough. Anko catches his wrist, twists, and drives him down hard. The floor thuds. Naruto's clones surge, pinning the attacker's legs, grabbing his elbows, locking him in place before he can bite a capsule or spit poison. The attacker's mask cracks as his cheek hits the floor. Grass shinobi. Not a courier this time. Not a nervous kid. A real blade. Ryo gasps behind them, hands shaking around her blanket. Naruto steps forward, breathing heavy, eyes locked on the intruder. Who sent you? The grass ninja bares his teeth like he's going to laugh. Anko presses the tip of her kunai under his jaw and leans in until her voice is a whisper that feels like a cut. If you die in this room, she says, Kusa will call it an accident and thank me for cleaning up, so don't test how bored I am. The intruder's throat bobs. His eyes flick toward the window, toward escape. Naruto sees it. Naruto feels it. And something behind Naruto's rib stirs, listening the way it always listens when blood enters the air. Answer, Naruto says again, quieter this time. The intruder spits. Anko's eyes go flat. She shifts her kunai a fraction, just enough to let him feel how little pressure it would take. The grass ninja's bravado collapses into cold calculation. I don't know his name, he rasps. Mask, fire money, canal. Naruto's jaw tightens. Anko doesn't ask for more. She doesn't need more. In shinobi work, you don't always get full truths. Sometimes you only get directions to the next lie. She slams the intruder's head down once, hard enough to shut him up, then looks back at Ryo. Pack. Ryo blinks, confused. What? Pack, Anko repeats, sharper. You're not staying here. Not if your village can't keep its own roof clean. A Kusa guard barrels into the doorway a heartbeat later, eyes wide, hands hovering near his weapon like he's trying to decide who the enemy is. Anko turns her head slowly. Her smile is mild, her aura is not. We caught your leak, she says. You're welcome. The guard's face tightens. You cannot. I can, Anko cuts in. Watch me. Naruto's clones haul the intruder upright, dragging him like a sack. Naruto watches the Kusa guard's expression, seeing the shame underneath the anger, seeing the fear underneath the shame. Kusa's pride is bleeding. That means it will lash out. Anko doesn't wait for their permission. She moves Rio out of the building in the dead space between lanterns, keeps Naruto close, keeps her senses open. She feels eyes on them from rooftops, from alleys, from behind paper screens. Some are guards, some are not. They don't stop until the village edge is behind them and the trees swallow the last of Kusa's light. Only then does Anko breathe like she's been holding her lungs tight for hours. Naruto jogs beside her, face hard, adrenaline still hot. So they really are buying people with fire money. Anko doesn't answer right away. Her mind is working too fast. If Fire Country money is involved, it doesn't mean the Hokage is involved. It means someone inside Fire's borders has their own agenda. Someone who wants the ambassador quiet. Someone who doesn't mind killing Chunin to do it. Anko glances at Naruto, and her stomach twists with something she refuses to name, because Naruto is learning all the wrong lessons too quickly. They push through the night until they find a place to camp where the trees are thick and the ground is soft enough to hide footprints. Anko makes Naruto set snares and trip lines. She makes him lay his mat and then pick it up and lay it again somewhere else. Why? He grumbles, exhausted. Because predictable people die, she says. He rolls his eyes, but he does it. When the camp is set, they sit with their backs to a fallen tree. Naruto yawns and tries to look tough. Anko watches the forest like it owes her an apology. The insects hum, for now. Naruto breaks the silence first, voice low. Anko, Han. He hesitates like he's fighting with himself. Then he asks, you said yesterday not even A and BU can hide from insects. You said you only knew 2 people who could move so quietly nature wouldn't notice. Anko's gaze stays on the dark, Jiraiya and the Yondaime. Naruto's eyes widen like he's hearing a legend. So, like, stealth is the top? Stealth is survival, Anko corrects. Naruto nods slowly, then, softer. So, even your old sensei couldn't? Anko's jaw tightens. She tastes an old memory. White skin, yellow eyes, a smile that meant something horrible was about to be called a lesson. He had other tricks, she says flatly. Don't worship people, worship results. Naruto swallows. Okay. The night deepens. Naruto's eyelids droop despite his will. Anko watches him fight sleep and she almost tells him to stop pretending. Instead, she teaches. Not gently, not kindly, truthfully. Did you ever hear about the ancestors? She asks. Naruto blinks, confused. Ancestors? Anko glances at him. His face is blank in a way that tells her everything. You've never heard of them, she says, more surprised than she wants to be. Naruto's chin lifts too fast. Of course I have. Anko snorts. Liar. Naruto opens his mouth, then closes it, caught. The ancestors were an ancient people, Anko says, voice quiet. They were almost gods. They traveled further than you can imagine. Built things we can't rebuild now. Their world was bigger. Naruto stares into the dark like he's trying to picture it. They destroyed themselves, Anko continues. War, greed, stupidity, same as always. But not all their knowledge died with them. Naruto frowns. How does that matter? Anko taps her own chest, right over where chakra coils around blood and breath. Because we are what's left, she says. They're descendants. They're leftovers. The only reason shinobi can do what we do is because something in us stayed behind. Naruto's brow furrows. So jutsu is, like, old power? Old blood, Anko says. Old inheritance. Naruto swallows, unsettled without knowing why. Anko watches him carefully. Kusa uses plants and poison because their land demands it, she says. Konoha uses fire and wood and brute strength because you're spoiled by safety. But it all comes from the same place. Naruto's voice goes small. Does what I've come from that too? Anko's eyes narrow. He doesn't say it directly. He never says it directly. The village has trained him not to. But the question is there. What am I? Anko's answer is simple because she can't afford anything else. You're Naruto, she says. He doesn't look convinced. Before she can push it further, the insects thin. The hum doesn't stop all at once. It shrinks, rippling outward like silence crawling through the trees toward them. Anko's hand closes on her kunai. Naruto's body tightens, sleep evaporating. His eyes sharpen. His breath goes quiet. Someone is coming. Anko doesn't move until the silence is close enough to feel like breath on her skin. Then she speaks into the dark, calm as a verdict. If you step closer, you die. A shape freezes between branches. Then another shifts higher up. The first attacker bolts, fast, trying to outrun consequences. Anko launches after him in a blur. Naruto starts to follow, then a third shape lunges out from the side aimed at Naruto, not Anko, like someone decided the easiest kill is the Chunin. Naruto reacts without thinking. A clone appears. The clone takes the first slash and pops. Naruto ducks the second strike, rolls, comes up with the kunai in his hand. His heart is hammering, but his movement is cleaner than it used to be. Anko taught him to drip. Anko taught him to breathe. The attacker comes again, blade aiming for Naruto's throat. Naruto meets him with steel. The clash is ugly. Naruto's arms jolt with the impact. His fingers go numb for a second. The attacker is stronger. Naruto makes clones anyway. Two appear behind the attacker. One grabs his elbow. The other hooks his ankle. The attacker tries to tear free. Naruto drives forward, shoulder slamming into the man's chest. The attacker stumbles. Naruto twists his wrist, and the kunai's edge bites skin. The attacker hisses, eyes flashing with real surprise. He expected a kid. He found a problem. Naruto's breath comes fast. His brain screams one word that is bigger than him. Kill. He hears it like an echo from Anko's earlier lesson. Death is our art. We make it every day with our hands. Naruto hesitates. Just one heartbeat. That heartbeat is almost enough for the attacker to recover. But then Anko comes back from the trees with blood on her face and a corpse behind her like a forgotten chore. She lands beside Naruto, eyes cold, and in that moment Naruto understands what she's about to do. Anko sits down on the attacker's back like she's pinning an animal. She holds his head still with one hand and draws her kunai with the other. Naruto's mouth opens. Anko. Anko's gaze flicks to him. Not angry, just warning. Are you going to? Naruto forces the words out, throat tight. Anko's voice goes flat and cold. Death is our art, she says. We make it every day with our hands. And part of us becomes desperate to know what it's like. Then her hand moves. A quick slicing motion. Blood sprays warm across her cheek. The attacker jerks, gurgling, and then goes still in a sequence that is too fast for Naruto's brain to accept. Anko remains seated through the last of the death throes. She doesn't look away. She doesn't flinch. She waits until it's finished. When she stands, she wipes the blade on the back of her hand like she's cleaning mud. Ninja are death personified, she says, staring at Naruto under the moonlight. Even Hokage, you better accept that. Naruto's stomach turns. But you killed him even after he was helpless. Anko's eyes narrow. Yeah, she says. And he would have killed us if I'd been soft-hearted. Naruto can't argue. His mouth moves but no sound comes. Anko's voice shifts. Conversational, almost bitter. I didn't choose to be like this, she says. I would have loved to be like Kurenai. Dating, nail polish, normal stupid dreams. She slips the kunai back into its holster. Her face hardens again. I was baptized in blood, she says. Like you. Naruto flinches. Like me? Anko turns away, already walking back toward camp. Naruto follows, footsteps uncertain. So, am I going to be like you? He asks, and he hates how honest his voice sounds. Anko pauses. For a moment her shoulders sag like she's carrying something too old. Then she answers without looking back. No, she says. Naruto's breath catches. Then what? Anko turns her head slightly, eyes sad in a way Naruto can't fully see in the dark but can feel anyway. You're going to curse every life you take, she says quietly. But you'll accept it as part of the job. Naruto swallows hard. That'll be the difference, Anko says. You'll keep your humanity. Naruto doesn't know why those words punch him in the chest. He doesn't know why his feet carry him forward. He doesn't know why. When she stops again, he wraps his arms around her from behind, in a clumsy, awkward hug like he's trying to anchor himself to something real. Anko freezes. For a breath, she looks like she might snap his arm off at the shoulder. Then she exhales slowly, voice edged with threat because she can't handle softness without turning it into violence. Stop being a damn moron, she mutters. Get back to camp. It's your turn to keep watch. Naruto releases her and walks ahead, quiet. Anko watches his back and wonders, with a cold twist inside her, why that hug feels heavier than any mission report. By morning, the sky is pale and the air is dry. Naruto doesn't sleep much. He doesn't want to see the dead man's face when he closes his eyes. So he trains. He pins Sasuke's face to a tree because petty hatred is easier than guilt and throws kunai until his shoulder burns. Most miss. The ones that hit land crooked. He throws shuriken. They scatter into the dark like he's scattering his own frustration. He collapses, panting, furious. Why can't he do simple things right? He can make 100 clones. He can run until his legs shake. He can fight until his knuckles split. But a kunai feels like a betrayal in his hand. When the world dims again and the camp is quiet, Naruto sits alone and finally admits the truth that scares him more than killing. He felt a thrill, just a flicker. A momentary rush of power when the attacker went down. That thrill is small, it's barely there, but it exists, and the existence is enough to make Naruto nauseous. He keeps practicing anyway, because if he stops moving, he starts thinking. And thinking is where the dead look back. They head back to Kusa at first light, escorting Rio to the gates where her village officials wait with too many smiles and too tight eyes. The Susui Kusa's leader in this matter ruffles Rio's hair with gentle hands. Rio clings to Naruto's sleeve like she doesn't want to let go. Anko leans against the gate wall, arms crossed, watching the gathered Kusa ninja. None of them are from the group that escorted them in. That bothers her. That smells like politics. Naruto arrives chattering happily with the Susui and Rio holding his hand, wearing an orange and black outfit that makes Anko's eye twitch. "Don't worry," the Susui says, smiling warmly. "I will personally watch over her." Anko rolls her eyes so hard she almost sees her own brain. "We don't have all day," she snaps, letting her impatience show. Rio starts crying softly, hugging Naruto too hard. Naruto's eyes water up like he's trying to be brave about it. Anko sees a stray viper slither too close to the path and hurls a kunai, severing its head clean. "Nasty things," she mutters, mostly to herself. They finally move. As the group starts walking out, Anko grabs the back of Naruto's shirt and drags him behind her because she refuses to let him get sentimental and slow. "So what kept you?" she asks, glaring. "We'd been waiting for you, and you're not even going to explain?" Naruto's grin widens like he's proud of himself. "It's Nonya." "Nonya?" Anko repeats. "Blank. Nonya business," Naruto says, trying to look serious and failing. Anko's eyes narrow. "You do remember we're practicing taijutsu when we get back?" Naruto pales instantly. Anko feels better. A little. On the road home, the world doesn't calm. It only shifts. The attacks stop, but the feeling doesn't. Like a predator has backed off to stalk from farther away. When they cross Fire Country borders again, Anko's shoulders loosen by a fraction. When Konoha's walls come into view, Naruto's chest tightens with something familiar and ugly. Home isn't safe. Home is just where everyone knows his name and still pretends they don't. They enter the village with dust on their clothes and exhaustion in their bones. Naruto expects to be dismissed. Expects to be told to go sleep. Instead, Anko points at him like she's assigning a chore. Hospital. Naruto stops dead. "What? Why?" "Medical exam," Anko says. "Mission protocol." Naruto tries to protest. Anko's kunai appears between his eyes like it teleported. Naruto swallows his protest whole. Okay, he goes. He trudges into the hospital like he's walking toward execution. A doctor in a white coat greets him with a polite smile that immediately makes Naruto suspicious. The man has graying hair and a calm face, the kind of calm that belongs to people who deal with blood daily and don't flinch. "Uzumaki-san," the doctor says gently. "I am Dr. Kiyoshi. Please have a seat." Naruto edges toward the exam bed like it might bite him. Hi." Kiyoshi flips open a thin file, frowning as he reads a single page inside. "Strange," he murmurs. "Why would the Hokage ask me?" Naruto's eyes widen. "The Hokage asked you?" Kiyoshi waves it off. Standard, he lies badly. Then he looks up. "When was the last time you received a complete physical examination?" Naruto blinks. What?" Kiyoshi smiles reassuringly. "Just normal checks," he says. "Reflexes, allergies, blood tests, susceptibility to healing jutsu, and a DRE." Naruto freezes. What?" "A digital rectal exam," Kiyoshi says, still smiling like he's offering candy. "It checks the prostate." Naruto's brain takes a full second to translate those words into horror. Rectal? He whispers, eyes going huge. Kiyoshi nods. Naruto yanks at the door handle like his life depends on it. "Nope." Behind him, Kiyoshi's voice stays calm. "Uzumaki-san, please don't." Naruto yanks harder. The door doesn't move. He turns, panic rising, and then he hears it. A snap of fingers. His body locks. Naruto's eyes go wide. Kiyoshi sighs, almost apologetic. "Temporary paralysis," he says mildly. "It's easier than chasing you." Naruto tries to scream. It comes out as a strangled noise. Kiyoshi pats the file. "This will be quick," he promises. Naruto's soul leaves his body and watches from above. Somewhere around the time Naruto is allowed to move again, he stumbles out into the hallway with dead eyes and a 1,000-yard stare, swearing silently that he will destroy Anko for this betrayal. One quick reminder before the next domino falls. Stay locked in, because this temporary team swap is where the altered timeline starts twisting Naruto into someone Konoha can't predict. Anko, meanwhile, is in the tower, dropping a mission report into Shikaku Nara's hands with the same casual confidence she uses to start fights. Shikaku scans the report, then glances up at her neckline like he's trying to see if death and trouble come with extra perks. A kunai appears in Anko's hand without her moving much. It spins lazily around her finger. Shikaku's eyes go back to the paper immediately. "Good," he mutters. "The Hokage wants to see you." Anko's mood sours on the spot. What does that old bastard want? She stalks up the spiral staircase without knocking, because rules are for people who don't know where the bodies are buried. The Hokage is waiting, pipe smoke curling in the air. His gaze is steady, too steady. Anko flops into a chair like she owns it. So, new mission? Or you just want a cheap thrill? The Hokage doesn't bite. Instead, he drops the sentence like a stone into water. A current Chunin has injured himself and been forced into retirement, he says. This has created a shortage for his team. Naruto is the only available Chunin not already in a 3-man cell. He is being transferred. Anko stands so fast the chair scrapes. What? For the duration, until the completion of the Chunin Exams? The Hokage continues calmly. He needs experience working with others. Anko's face goes sharp. Naruto is my student. The Hokage's eyes harden a fraction, command bleeding through the old calm. I am Hokage, he says. I decide who teaches whom. Naruto is now a member of Team 9. He will meet his new team tonight at 8 in Training Area 9. He'll be fit for duty. Do I make myself clear? Anko's jaw clenches. As glass, she mutters. She turns to leave, fury boiling. Anko, the Hokage adds, voice softer but still firm. He needs to be on a 3-man team for the exams. I would prefer he has experience before then. Anko pauses in the doorway, shoulders tense. She doesn't turn around. No need to explain, she says coldly. I understand. You can't risk the heartless murdering bitch creating a heartless murdering bastard. Then she slams the door and storms out like a thundercloud with legs. Elsewhere in the village, Team 9 is already cracking. Ino Yamanaka sits with her chin propped on her hand, fuming in a way that could melt paint. She's been stuck doing low missions while other teams brag about real work. She's been trying not to imagine Sakura rubbing it in with that sweet smile that feels like a knife. And now their teammate is hurt. Worse, he's quitting. Hayate, their Jonin sensei, finally tells them what happened. Anzai tried a jutsu he wasn't ready for, injured himself, then decided to retire because no one warned him. Being a ninja was dangerous. Ino snaps so loudly the room feels smaller. That's bullshit. Shino says nothing, because Shino doesn't waste words on things that are already dead. Hayate coughs into his hand, eyes half-lidded. You will meet your new teammate tonight at 8, he says. Ino crosses her fingers under the table and prays to any god listening that it's Sasuke, because if it's not Sasuke, she might start punching walls. Naruto, meanwhile, stands outside the hospital looking like he's been personally cursed by the universe. Anko finds him there. Naruto opens his mouth to complain. Anko's eyes narrow. Naruto closes his mouth. 8, Anko says. Training Area 9. New team. Don't embarrass me. Naruto blinks, stunned. New team? Anko's grin is brittle. Temporary, she says. Until the exams. Hokage's orders. Naruto's stomach twists. So you're dumping me? Anko's expression flashes with something sharp. Anger, maybe, or guilt, but she buries it fast. Don't be dramatic, she snaps. I'll still train you. I'll still drag you into the dirt. You're just learning how to not be a solo idiot. Naruto swallows. Who's the team? Anko's eyes slide away. Team 9, she says. Naruto frowns. Who's on Team 9? Anko smirks. Go find out. Then she turns and walks away like this isn't ripping something loose inside her. Naruto watches her go, jaw tight, then looks toward the rooftops where the village lights flicker and people move like they have places to be. He's a Chunin. He's a killer now, whether he wants the word or not. And tonight, he's going to be someone's teammate. Training Area 9 waits under the evening sky, quiet and open, the kind of place where fights start and friendships pretend they don't. Naruto arrives early because he doesn't want to be the last one for once. He stands in the grass, hands at his sides, headband cool against his forehead, and tries to decide what face to wear. The loud one? The brave one? The stupid one? The one that makes people underestimate him? Footsteps approach. 2 sets. One light, one measured. Naruto turns. A girl with long blonde hair steps into the clearing first, eyes bright and sharp, posture full of confidence that borders on aggression. Ino Yamanaka stops when she sees him. Her smile doesn't just die, it shatters. Behind her, a tall boy with dark glasses and a high collar glides in like he belongs to shadow more than sunlight. Shino Abarame's expression barely shifts, but Naruto can feel him looking, assessing, cataloging. Ino stares at Naruto like he's a prank the universe played specifically to punish her. No, she says, voice flat with disbelief. Naruto lifts a hand awkwardly. Hi? Ino's eye twitches. This is a joke. Naruto's grin appears on instinct, too loud, too bright, too practiced. I'm pretty funny, yeah? Ino steps forward, finger jabbing at his chest. I prayed for Sasuke. Naruto's grin falters. Oh. Shino's voice is calm, factual. You are Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto straightens a little. Yeah. Ino's eyes narrow into pure hostility. Why are you here? Naruto opens his mouth. And in that exact moment, a thin cough drifts from the trees. Hayate steps into the clearing, looking exhausted and sick and entirely done with everyone. Team 9, he says, voice rough. Your new teammate has been assigned. Ino's face goes blank with horror. Naruto's stomach drops because the way Ino looks at him is the way the village used to look at him, like he's a punishment. Hayate coughs again, eyes half-lidded. Get used to it, he mutters. Naruto feels something inside him go very still. Because if he can't make this team work, if he can't fit into a 3-man cell, then the Chunin Exams won't just be a test, they'll be a slaughter. And Ino is still staring at him like she's deciding whether she hates him more than she hates losing. Shino watches in silence, unreadable. Hayate lifts a hand slowly. Training begins now, he says. Naruto inhales. And somewhere deep behind his ribs, that sealed presence listens, patient and amused, like it's waiting to see what happens when Naruto is finally forced to fight beside people who don't want him there. Hayate lifts a hand slowly. Training begins now, he says, voice rough. Naruto inhales through his nose and locks his knees so his body won't betray how nervous he is. Ino is still staring at him like she's watching a cockroach crawl across a dinner plate. Shino stands a step behind her, silent, calm, and somehow even more intimidating because he isn't performing disgust. Naruto wants to talk. He always wants to talk. He wants to smash the silence before it can turn into rejection. But Anko's voice is in his head. Talk less. Breathe more. So he keeps his mouth shut. Hayate's eyes move over them, measuring. He coughs once into his fist, then points to the open field. We start with basic coordination, he says, because if you can't move together, you die together. Ino scoffs. We're not dying, sensei. This is training. Hayate's gaze slides to her. You know what's funny? He murmurs. Every genin says that. Then they bleed. Ino's mouth snaps shut. Naruto's stomach twists. He hears Anko's cemetery lesson like a whisper in the grass. Kindness is expensive. Hesitation kills. Death doesn't care about your dream. Hayate steps forward. Uzumaki, he says. Naruto straightens. Yeah! Hayate's eyelid twitches, but he ignores the volume. Show me your clones. Naruto forms a seal. 2 shadow clones pop into existence with sharp little puffs of smoke. Not 100, not a flood. 2. Ino blinks, startled despite herself. Only 2? Naruto shrugs like it's no big deal, but his chest swells inside. Control, he says, keeping his tone casual. Anko's training is paying off. Drip, not flood. Shino's head tilts slightly. Your chakra output is restrained. Naruto glances at him. Thanks? Hayate nods once, approving. Good, now, Ino, Shino. Try to subdue him. Ino's eyes widen. What? Hayate's voice is flat. Try. Naruto's heartbeat spikes. He almost smiles. Finally, something he knows. Ino steps forward, fingers lifting into a hand seal, eyes sharp like thrown glass. Shino's sleeves rustle softly. Naruto remembers rumors about Shinobugs under his skin, insects that listen and eat chakra. Gross. Also terrifying. Naruto's clones spread, taking angles. Naruto breathes once, long and slow, and waits. Ino moves first fast, direct, aiming to get into range for her mind technique. Naruto feels the instinct to rush her, to overwhelm her with clones, to end it quickly. Instead, he steps back. He lets her chase. Shino doesn't run. He advances like a tide. Tiny black shapes spill from his sleeves, and Naruto's skin crawls as they fan outward, a living net. Naruto's clones dart to the sides. One clone throws a kunai low at Ino's feet. She jumps it cleanly, hair flashing gold. She's good. Naruto's clone smirks and shifts, trying to draw her toward Shino's bug swarm without her noticing. But Ino isn't stupid. She sees the movement, pivots, and suddenly her eyes lock on Naruto's real body, not the clone. Got you, she snaps. Her hands flash through the seals, and Naruto feels something, like a cold finger pressing between his brows. His vision wavers for a fraction of a second. Then it's gone. Naruto staggers, blinking hard. What was that? Ino's mouth tightens. You moved, she hisses, annoyed. Naruto laughs once, breathless. Yeah, I do that. Shino's insects reach Naruto's boots and crawl upward like a rising shadow. Naruto's jaw clenches. He hates the sensation, hates the idea of things crawling under his clothes, into his skin. He doesn't panic. He makes a seal. One of his clones drops into the swarm and explodes into smoke, the dispersal blast scattering insects outward for a moment. Naruto uses that moment to sprint, not at Shino, but around him. He's not trying to win a duel. He's trying to break their coordination. Ino lunges again, trying to cut him off. Naruto slides under her reach, low and fast, and for the briefest second his shoulder brushes her hip. He hears her sharp inhale, more surprised than angry. He pops up behind her and taps the back of her headband with 2 fingers. "Tag," he says. Ino whirls, face flushing with fury. "Don't touch me." "Then stop chasing me," Naruto shoots back. Hayate's voice cuts in. "Stop." All 3 freeze. Hayate studies them like he's reading an autopsy. "Ino," he says, "you telegraph. You commit too hard. You want the win so badly you stop thinking." Ino bristles. He's annoying. Hayate doesn't react. "Shino," he says, "your pressure is good, but you move like you're alone. A team is not a tide. A team is a trap." Shino inclines his head slightly, accepting the criticism without emotion. Hayate's gaze moves to Naruto. Naruto braces. "You," Hayate says, "are better than your reputation." Ino makes a noise like she might choke. Naruto's eyebrows lift. He doesn't know what to do with praise from a man who looks like he hates breathing. Hayate continues, voice still flat. "But you're still loud. You still show your emotions. You still react like a boy who's had to fight alone." Naruto's stomach tightens. He feels the truth of it like a bruise. Hayate coughs again. "We fix that." Ino crosses her arms. "How?" Hayate points to the training ground. "You 3 will run a capture exercise. 1 target, 2 hunters. Then switch. You learn each other's rhythms. You learn each other's blind spots. You learn each other's tells." Ino's eyes narrow. "And if we don't?" Hayate's gaze is tired. "Then you fail the Chunin exams and get someone killed when you're older and the stakes are real." Silence swallows the field. Naruto's throat works. "We're doing the Chunin exams?" He asks before he can stop himself. Ino snaps her head toward him, suddenly offended. "Of course we are. That's the point. That's why we're even tolerating you." Naruto's face heats. He opens his mouth, then closes it. Anko's words again. "Talk less." Shino speaks calmly. "The Chunin exams test more than strength. They test decision-making, teamwork, and psychological endurance." Naruto stares. "Psychological? What?" Shino pauses. "They attempt to break you." Naruto swallows. "Oh." Hayate dismisses them with a flick of his hand. "Same time tomorrow," he says. "If you're late, I leave." Ino scoffs. "You can't just leave." Hayate turns his back. "Watch me." He disappears into the trees in a blur that makes Naruto's skin prickle. A Jonin. Real speed. Real threat. Naruto exhales and realizes he's been holding his breath. Ino whips around on him the moment Hayate is gone. "Listen," she says, voice sharp. "This is temporary. Don't get ideas." Naruto blinks. "Ideas about what?" Ino's eyes narrow. "About being my teammate." Naruto stares, then snorts. "Lady, I've had worse." Ino's face flushes. "I'm not a lady." Naruto lifts his hands. Okay. Princess of Rage, relax." Ino takes a step like she might slap him. Shino shifts slightly, not protective, just repositioning like he's documenting a predictable outcome. Naruto backs up. "Look, I didn't ask for this," he says, trying for honest. "The Hokage told me. Anko told me. You're mad? Be mad at them." Ino's jaw tightens. "I am mad at them," she snaps. "But you're the one standing here." Naruto's smile fades. He's used to being the nearest target. He just hoped, stupidly, that a teammate would feel different. Shino speaks quietly. "Hostility is inefficient." Ino glares at him. "Oh, shut up, bug boy." Shino doesn't react. He just turns his head toward Naruto. "You should understand," he says, calm as rain. "Ino values control. Your presence is uncontrolled." Naruto's eyes narrow. "Uncontrolled now." Shino's gaze is unreadable behind his glasses. "We will observe." Naruto huffs. "Great, I love being observed." Ino turns away, hair swinging like a whip. "Try not to embarrass us," she throws over her shoulder as she walks off. Naruto watches her go, feeling that old familiar ache press into his chest. He forces it down. He's not a kid on a swing anymore. He's a genin. He's been on a mission. He spilled blood. He should be tougher than this. He's not sure he is. That night, he finds Anko on the edge of a training field, perched on a fence like a bored cat. She looks up as he approaches, eyes sharp. "Team 9, she says, not a question. Naruto drops onto the grass with a groan. "They hate me." Anko snorts. "Good." Naruto scowls. "That's not good." "It is," Anko says. "If they hate you, they'll watch you. If they watch you, they'll learn you. If they learn you, they'll stop underestimating you." Naruto rubs his face. Ino wanted Sasuke. Anko's smile turns cruel. "Everyone wants Sasuke." Naruto grumbles. "So what do I do?" Anko hops down and walks toward him, hands in her pockets. "You stop chasing approval," she says. "You earn respect the only way shinobi respect anything." Naruto looks up. "How?" Anko points at his forehead protector. "Competence," she says. Then she taps his chest. Control. Then she taps his head. Decision. Naruto swallows. I'm trying. Anko studies him for a long moment. Then her voice drops slightly. The Hokage didn't move you because he hates you, she says. He moved you because he's scared. Naruto's stomach twists. Scared of me? Scared of what you carry, Anko says. Naruto's throat tightens. Tell me. Anko's eyes harden. No. Naruto's hands clench. Why not? Because once you know, you can't unknow it, Anko says, and the village will smell the change on you. Naruto glares, frustration burning, but somewhere deeper he understands. Knowledge is leverage. Knowledge is danger. Anko steps closer, voice sharp again. Tomorrow, you train with Hayate. At night, you train with me. Naruto's eyes widen. Both? Anko grins. You think I'm letting some coughing jonin shape you without my input? Naruto opens his mouth, then closes it. He nods once. Anko's grin fades into something serious. And Naruto, she adds. Naruto looks up. Anko's eyes narrow. Don't let Team 9 make you lonely again, she says. Loneliness makes you sloppy, and sloppy gets you killed. Naruto swallows hard. Okay. Anko stands straight. Good. Now drop and give me 50. Naruto's jaw drops. What? Now? Now. He groans and drops anyway, arms shaking as he starts. Anko counts lazily, occasionally nudging his posture with a toe. It's brutal. It's familiar. It's oddly comforting. Days pass in a grinding rhythm. Team training with Hayate is precise. Hayate doesn't laugh. He doesn't play. He works them until their bodies learn without their minds getting in the way. He pairs Naruto with Shino on silent movement drills, forces Naruto to move without talking, without grinning, without shouting his fear into the air. Naruto hates it. Naruto gets better. He pairs Naruto with Ino on timing drills, close-range feints and retreats meant to lure targets into mind, jutsu range without exposing Ino's body. Ino hates it more than Naruto does. She tells Naruto he smells. Naruto tells her her forehead is too shiny. Shino watches, silent, and somehow the silent watching makes both of them behave slightly. At night, Anko pushes Naruto into harder edges. She makes him run with weights. She makes him water walk with eyes closed. She makes him fight blindfolded, listening for breath and footfalls. You don't need eyes to survive, she tells him. You need awareness. Naruto learns to listen. He starts hearing things he didn't before. The shift of fabric, the scrape of sandal rubber, the way someone's breath changes when they commit to a strike. He starts catching Anko's movements a fraction earlier than before. She never says she's impressed, but she hits him harder. Ino sees the change first. It happens in a simple drill. Capture exercise. Naruto is the target. Ino and Shino are hunters. Naruto is supposed to run, hide, evade. He does. But this time he doesn't bolt like prey. He moves like bait. He leaves signs that aren't signs. Footprints that double back. Broken leaves that suggest a direction he never took. He uses clones sparingly, placing them to make noise while he holds still. Breath slowed. Chakra muted like Kakashi suggested. Shino's insects spread, sweeping. Ino stalks behind them, eyes sharp. Naruto watches from a branch, still as bark. Ino passes beneath him. For a second, Naruto thinks about dropping, grabbing her, ending the drill quickly. He could. He's close enough. He doesn't. Instead, he lets her pass and drops behind her, landing silently. He taps her shoulder. Boo, he whispers. Ino screams. Not a polite sound. Not a controlled hiss. A full, startled yelp that turns into rage the moment she realizes she reacted. She whips around, face blazing, and Naruto steps back with a grin he can't stop. You! She snarls, hands lifting. Shino's insects surge toward Naruto like a black wave. Naruto vanishes in a poof clone. The real Naruto is already behind Shino, pressing a kunai's dull side to Shino's collar. Shino freezes. Hayate's voice drifts in from the edge of the field. Stop. Naruto lowers the kunai and steps back, breathing steady. Ino's chest heaves. She looks from Naruto to Shino, then to Hayate. He cheated, she snaps. Hayate's tired eyes lift. He used misdirection, he corrects. That's shinobi. Ino's jaw tightens. He scared me on purpose. Hayate nods. That's also shinobi. Ino glowers at Naruto like she wants to erase him with her mind. Naruto's grin wobbles as he remembers he's supposed to not act like a brat. He sobers slightly. Sorry, he says, and he means it in a weird way. Not apologizing for winning. Apologizing for making her feel stupid. Ino's eyes narrow. She doesn't accept it. She doesn't reject it either. She just stares like she's trying to figure out what kind of creature Naruto is. Shino adjusts his glasses. Your chakra concealment has improved, he says. Naruto blinks. Thanks. Shino pauses, then adds, it will still be insufficient against specialized sensors. Naruto's smile tightens. Thanks, again. Hayate coughs and gestures. You're done for today, he says. Rest, you'll need it. The Chunin exams begin soon. That night, the village feels different. Word spreads fast when a teen changes. When a loud kid suddenly starts moving like he knows what he's doing. When Ino Yamanaka, who usually walks like she owns the air, is seen snapping at Naruto with something that looks almost like attention, not affection, not yet, attention. Naruto catches whispers as he walks through the streets. He catches side glances. He catches someone muttering his name with irritation and something else, fear. He pretends not to care, but he does. He meets Anko on a rooftop where the wind is cool and the lights below flicker like stars trapped in paper lanterns. She tosses him a scroll. Not forbidden, not dramatic, just blank paper and ink. Write, she says. Naruto frowns. Write what? Anko points at his head. Everything you learned today, she says. Every mistake, every tell, every time you reacted emotionally, every time you lost control. Naruto's face twists. That's boring. Anko's smile is sharp. And you're childish? Right. He groans and sits, scrawling messy notes, tongue sticking out as he concentrates. Anko watches him, arms folded, and the city below feels far away. Halfway through, Naruto pauses and looks up. Anko. Hun, do you think I can pass? He asks quietly. Anko's eyes narrow. Pass what? The Chunin exams, Naruto says. Like, for real. Not just survive. Actually pass. Anko studies him for a long moment. Then she speaks plainly. You have power, she says. You have speed. You have pain. Those are useful. Naruto's throat tightens. That's not an answer. Anko's mouth twitches. Fine, she says. Yes, you can pass. Naruto exhales, relief sharp enough to hurt. Anko steps closer, voice dropping. But passing will not feel like winning, she warns. It will feel like being stripped naked in front of enemies and asked to smile. Naruto swallows hard. Okay. Anko's gaze hardens. And Naruto, she adds. He looks up. He looks up. If anyone tries to use what you carry against you in that exam, she says, I want you to remember something. Naruto's chest tightens. What? Anko's eyes flash. I'm worse than them, she says, smiling like a threat. And I'm on your side. Naruto stares at her, then nods slowly, believing her because there's no softness in it. The next day, the notice arrives. Chunin exams. Teams gather. Forms are signed. Names are submitted. Konoha turns into a hive of tension overnight. Every genin suddenly aware that the world outside the village is about to come inside. Naruto stands with Team 9 at the registration line, feeling the heat of other villages' eyes on him. He sees Sand Shinobi, silent, cold, carrying their arrogance like armor. He sees Sound Shinobi, new, unfamiliar, their forehead protectors marked with a symbol he doesn't recognize. He sees grass, mist, rain, each one smelling like a different kind of danger. Ino straightens her posture as if she refuses to be intimidated. Shino stands like a statue that might move if the world insults him. Naruto tries to grin. It comes out tighter than he wants. Hayate coughs into his hand and looks at his team. Remember, he says, voice rough, the first test doesn't look like a fight. That's how it kills you. Naruto's stomach twists. They enter the exam hall. The room is packed with genin. The air hums with chakra and ego and fear disguised as confidence. Naruto takes one step inside and immediately feels eyes pin him like darts. He keeps walking anyway. Ino's shoulder brushes his for a second as they move to their seats. Not a shove, not a push away, just contact. It's small, it shouldn't matter. Naruto feels it anyway, like a tiny anchor in a room full of predators. Then a group blocks their path. 3 older genin, smug expressions, the kind that think intimidation is a substitute for skill. One of them cracks his neck and sneers at Naruto. Ino Yamanaka, he says, voice slick. Didn't think you'd show up with that. He gestures at Naruto like Naruto is a stain. Ino's eyes narrow. Move. The older genin smirks. Or what? Naruto feels heat rise in his chest. The sealed presence inside him stirs, amused, waiting. He takes a breath, slow and controlled. He's not alone now. Shino steps forward first. His voice is calm. Interference is inefficient. The older genin scoffs. What are you gonna do, bug freak? Shino lifts his sleeve slightly. The older genin's face changes as he feels the insects, like a pressure crawling up his skin just from proximity. He takes a step back without meaning to. Naruto steps forward into the space. His grin appears quiet this time, controlled. We're just here to take the exam, he says. But if you want to waste energy on us, that's fine. We can spare a little. The older genin's eyes narrow. He doesn't like Naruto's tone. He doesn't like the lack of fear. He moves, fast. He swings at Naruto's jaw. Naruto slips the punch with a small turn of his head like he saw it coming a mile away. Because he did. Naruto's hand rises, catches the attacker's wrist, and twists just enough to make the joint scream without breaking. Naruto leans in close, voice low. "Don't," he says. The attacker freezes, shock flashing across his face. For a heartbeat, the room's noise seems to dim. People notice. They watch. The air tightens. Then a voice cuts through everything like a whip. "Settle down." A proctor stands at the front of the room, cold-eyed, chakra-heavy. The attacker yanks his wrist free and backs away, face hot with humiliation. He disappears into the crowd, swallowing his pride. Naruto releases the breath he didn't realize he held. Ino stares at him, eyes narrowed. "You didn't even hit him." Naruto shrugs. "Didn't need to." Ino's lips part like she's about to insult him, then she stops, looking frustrated for reasons she doesn't understand. Shino's voice is quiet. Restraint is also a weapon. Naruto glances at him. "You're getting less creepy," Naruto says. Shino pauses. "That is not my intention." Naruto snorts despite himself. A single thought breaks through the tension like a quick spark. If you're still watching, stay close. Because the first Chunin exam test is where the strongest teams don't throw punches, they throw minds. The written test begins. Papers are distributed. Questions are placed on the desk like traps. Naruto looks down at the first page and feels his soul leave his body again. The questions aren't hard, they're impossible. Advanced tactics, complex math. Codes. Things Naruto has never learned because nobody taught him like he mattered. His mouth goes dry. He glances sideways at Ino. She's reading, eyes sharp, pen moving. Shino is already writing with slow, steady confidence. Naruto's stomach twists. He's going to fail them. He's going to be the reason they're dragged out. He hears the proctor's voice in his head. 3 strikes and you're out. 1 more question and your whole team fails. The rules wrapping around fear like barbed wire. Naruto's fingers tighten around his pencil until the wood creaks. Then Anko's voice, like a ghost. "Stop chasing approval. Earn respect." Decision. Naruto doesn't know the answers, but he knows this test isn't about answers, it's about nerve. He lifts his eyes and scans the room. He sees Genin cheating in subtle ways. Mirrors, signals, reflections in the floor. Tiny movements that pass information like breath. He sees proctors watching, waiting for the obvious ones to slip. He sees the real test underneath the paper. Naruto's heart steadies. He sets his pencil down. He sits back. And he does nothing. Minutes crawl. Sweat slides down his spine. His mind screams that this is stupid, that he should try to copy, that he should do something. He doesn't. He holds. He waits like he waited on that rooftop for Anko, but this time he isn't waiting helplessly. He's waiting intentionally. Ino glances at him out of the corner of her eye, sees his blank sheet, and her expression flickers. Panic, anger, disbelief. Naruto doesn't look at her. He stares forward like the paper is irrelevant. Shino doesn't look at him at all, but Naruto feels it. Shino's calm presence, like Shino trusts a plan, exists even if he can't see it yet. The proctor's eyes slide over Naruto again and again, suspicious, searching for movement. Naruto gives them none. Finally, the proctor at the front speaks. Time. The room exhales like one body. Naruto's paper is almost blank. Ino looks like she might murder him. Then the proctor smiles, and the smile is wrong. "Congratulations," he says. "You pass." Naruto's breath catches. The proctor explains the truth. This was never a knowledge test, it was a will test. A trap designed to make weaker genin break themselves or betray their teams. Naruto's stomach unclenches slowly. Ino stares at Naruto like she's trying to decide whether to scream or laugh. "You're insane," she whispers. Naruto grins, small. "Told you I'm pretty funny." Ino's lips twitch, almost, before she catches herself and scowls again. Shino adjusts his glasses. "Your strategy was optimal." Naruto blinks. "Thanks." Then the doors open, and the real terror walks in, wearing a grin. Anko. She strides to the front of the room like she owns it. Eyes bright, aura sharp, and Naruto feels the sealed presence inside him stir like it recognizes her voice. Anko claps her hands once. "All right, babies," she says, loud enough to make everyone flinch. "Welcome to the second exam." The room's temperature seems to drop. Anko's grin widens. "Forest of death," she purrs. Naruto's heart pounds. Ino's face pales slightly despite her effort to look tough. Shino remains still, but Naruto sees the tiniest shift in his posture, focus tightening. Anko's eyes sweep the room and land on Naruto for a fraction of a second. Her grin sharpens, like a private message. "Don't embarrass me." Then she turns away and speaks to the whole crowd. "You're going into the forest," she says. "And you're coming out if you can." The doors of the exam hall feel suddenly too small, because the next test isn't paper, it's teeth. And Naruto, standing beside two teammates who didn't want him, feels the forest waiting like a mouth about to close. The doors of the exam hall feel suddenly too small, like the whole building is trying to pretend the forest isn't waiting outside with its mouth open. Anko's grin stays bright as she talks about survival like it's a party trick. She tells them the rules with that same casual cruelty, like she wants them terrified and excited in equal measure. Then she steps aside, and the atmosphere shifts. Because the next voice isn't playful, it's bored. It's lethal in the way only professionals can be. Hatake Kakashi stands near the front with his little red book open like the room is background noise. One eye half-lidded, the other eye measuring everything. He doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't need to. The room leans toward him anyway, instinctively. He explains what the Forest of Death really is. Not a training ground, not a trial, a controlled collapse. A cage designed to force conflict until only teams with discipline crawl out. He tells them bluntly that their villages agreed to the possibility of deaths. He offers them one chance to quit. No shame, no punishment, no one moves. Of course no one moves. Pride is the first thing shinobi offer up to a test. They just don't know it yet. Kakashi's gaze sweeps the room and lands on Naruto for a flicker longer than it should. Naruto feels it like a fingertip on the back of his neck. Not hostility, not approval, recognition. Then Kakashi starts laying out the real mechanics. Scrolls, names, gates, a tower in the center like a promise and a trap. Teams must collect what they need and reach the tower within the time limit. Pass or die trying. Naruto's stomach knots, but not from fear of the forest. He's scanning other teams. Counting threats. Sand stands out like a bruise. Gaara's presence is wrong, cold and heavy like something that was never meant to be human. Sound stands out too. New headbands, unfamiliar confidence, too smooth. Ino keeps her chin high, but Naruto sees the tightness at the corner of her mouth. Shino stays calm, but his posture is more alert than usual. Even his insects seem quieter under his collar, like they can taste what's coming. Teams are called to the booth one by one. Papers are handed over. Doors open in the outer wall of the forest, numbered gates like choices that aren't really choices. When Team 9's number is called, Naruto steps forward with Ino and Shino at his sides and tries not to look like he's holding his breath. They're given 3 scrolls. Not heaven and earth like legends. Names. Each scroll stamped with a different participant's name, each one belonging to a living person somewhere in the forest right now. Naruto juggles them lightly in his hands, pretending it's nothing, pretending it doesn't feel personal. Ino leans in, eyes narrowing as she reads. "We need one more," she says under her breath. "One name." Shino's voice stays even. "We locate the team carrying it. We take it. We proceed to the tower." Naruto grins tight. "Easy." Ino snorts. "Nothing about this is easy." Kakashi's voice carries over the booth as a proctor escorts them toward their assigned entrance. Gate 14. The iron gate looms. Rusted bars. Warning signs. Wire like teeth. The trees beyond are thicker than they should be, older than they should be, twisted like they've watched too many people bleed at their roots. Ino stares into the gloom and swears she sees shapes moving where the light shouldn't reach. Something too big, something slow, something that makes her skin prickle. Naruto, annoyingly, looks almost bored. Shino watches Naruto more than he watches the forest. Because Naruto isn't oblivious, Naruto is quiet, and that's the unsettling part. The gate opens with a metallic groan, and Team 9 steps in. The forest swallows them. The first hour is a lesson in paranoia. Every snapped twig sounds like a blade being drawn. Every shadow between trunks looks like a body waiting to move. Ino keeps her senses wide, eyes darting, trying to read the trees the way she reads people. Shino releases small clusters of insects into the canopy, letting them drift and return, mapping space and scent and vibration. Naruto doesn't run ahead like he used to. He doesn't shout. He doesn't try to fill the silence with noise. He stays in formation. Ino notices that first. It irritates her. It also makes her breathe easier without her permission. They move fast, but not careless. They avoid obvious paths. They don't speak much. When Naruto does speak, it's short, practical. He points out a faint scuff in the dirt that suggests a team passed recently. He gestures to a broken leaf that's too fresh. He signals a pause when the wind changes and brings the faint metallic scent of blood. Ino hates how competent he's being, because it disrupts her ability to dismiss him as a problem. By late afternoon, they find a hollow between roots deep enough to hide a fire without advertising it. Shino checks the perimeter with insects. Ino lays minor traps, simple trip lines, an alarm bell made from a pebble balanced wrong. Naruto, because Naruto, produces instant ramen like the world doesn't contain murder. Ino stares. "You brought ramen into the forest of death." Naruto shrugs while lighting a tiny flame. "It's portable. It's stupid." It's morale, Naruto says, and he says it like he learned the word from someone else. Ino rolls her eyes but sits anyway. She's exhausted. Her legs ache. Her nerves feel stretched like wire. She tells herself she's only sitting because stopping alone is stupid. Naruto slurps like he's at Ichiraku, loud and shameless. Shino watches the forest. He rarely eats when the air feels wrong. Ino pokes at the dirt with a stick, then glances at Naruto sideways. So, she says, too casual, what's your secret? Naruto pauses mid-slurp. What secret? Ino's eyes narrow. Don't play dumb. You're different. You're not the same idiot from the academy. Naruto grins. Maybe I matured. Ino makes a sound of pure disbelief. Liar. Naruto takes another bite like he's thinking. Fine. You tell me your secret, I tell you mine. Ino stiffens instantly. No. Naruto's grin turns smug. Then we're even? Ino scowls, but the scowl is covering a different feeling. Annoyance, yes, but also frustration at herself for wanting to know, for caring, for noticing how Naruto's hands don't shake when he holds a kunai anymore. She lays back on her mat with a huff. Good night. Naruto's voice is softer than she expects. Night. She closes her eyes and tries to force sleep like it's another technique. It doesn't come easy. When it does, it comes wrong. Darkness presses in. Not normal darkness, heavy darkness like the world has sunk underwater. Ino tries to move and realizes she can't. She's being pulled forward without walking, drifting through trees that look too tall, too warped. Then the sound arrives. Screams. Wordless, raw, endless. The sky glows red above the canopy like fire behind skin. Ino's breath catches. She's shoved out of the trees and onto a ledge, and below her, she sees a village being torn open like paper. Buildings collapse. Walls buckle. Shadows scatter like insects. And in the center of it, a massive fox. Not an animal. A demon. A shape made of rage and hunger. Tails lashing, claws carving through stone like it's wet clay. Its eyes burn bright in the night, and the pressure of its presence hits her body like gravity doubling. The Kyuubi, she whispers, and the words feel forbidden the moment they leave her mouth. The fox turns its head. It looks straight at her. Its mouth opens, and the growl that comes out isn't sound. It's intent. It's evil made audible. It freezes her blood. It makes her stomach twist like she's about to vomit or cry or both. Help, she tries to say. No voice comes. The fox leans closer, and Ino understands something in a single horrifying flash. This thing is real, and it knows she's watching. Then the dream snaps like a cord. She jerks awake, gasping, skin clammy, heart hammering like it's trying to escape. The fire is low. The forest is quiet. Naruto is crouched beside her, his hand hovering near her face like he wasn't sure if he was allowed to touch. His eyes are wide with concern. Ino, he whispers, you okay? She swallows hard, forcing air into her lungs. I'm fine, she lies, because admitting she saw a demon in her sleep feels like weakness. Naruto doesn't look convinced. His hand brushes her cheek anyway, just once, gentle and awkward, checking for fever like he learned it from watching someone else do it. Ino's breath catches. She reaches up on impulse and catches his wrist. Not to stop him, not to hold him, just to ground herself in something warm and real. His skin is calloused, his pulse is fast. Naruto freezes, and to her shock, he blushes. Ino's mouth curves before she can stop it. If a girl didn't know better, she murmurs, she could think you liked her. Naruto yanks his hand back like it burned him. I was just worried, he snaps, too loud for the quiet. Then he stands and storms off a few steps, arms crossed, pretending the forest is the problem and not his own face. Ino watches him go and feels her heart slow down, just a little. Not because she trusts the forest, because for 1 second, she trusts the boy who refuses to leave her alone in it. She lies back down, eyes open, staring up through the branches. The dream lingers like smoke behind her eyelids. That fox, that gaze, that certainty, and she realizes, with a quiet sick twist, that the dream wasn't random fear. It felt like memory. She doesn't tell Naruto. She doesn't tell Shino. She just lies there and listens to Naruto's restless footsteps as he circles the perimeter like he's trying to outwalk his own thoughts. Morning arrives pale and thin, like even the sun doesn't want to enter this place. They move again. The forest stays quiet for too long. It's the kind of quiet that makes experienced shinobi nervous. Too few signs of other teams. Too few distant clashes. Too little blood scent carried by the wind. Shino's insects return with scattered information, vibrations, footsteps, then nothing. Like the forest swallowed the sound. Ino keeps glancing around, expecting a trap in the silence itself. Naruto is the one who speaks first. They're close, he murmurs. Ino frowns. Who? Naruto's gaze is sharp. A team. Shino's head tilts. My insects have not confirmed. They're splitting, Naruto says, calm. 3-point pincer, 2 from the sides, 1 from below. Ino whips toward him. How do you know that? Naruto's expression doesn't change. His voice is too steady for him. The weak try to kill the strong by dividing their strength, he says. They think if we respond separately, they can overwhelm one of us. Shino pauses. Then, quietly, a three-point attack is efficient under these conditions. Naruto shoots him a glare that is so flat, so cold, that Shino feels it even behind his glasses. That's what I said, Naruto mutters. Ino's skin prickles at that glare. Not because it's loud, because it's promise. For the first time, she wonders if the real danger in this forest isn't the teams hunting them. It's the teammate she doesn't fully understand. The attack comes a heartbeat later. The ground beneath Naruto's foot erupts as a vine whip lashes upward like a striking snake. Naruto twists aside, but the whip still catches cloth, ripping his jacket with a snapping tear. Two Kusa shinobi burst from opposite sides, fast and grinning. They don't look like nervous examinees. They look like people who came here to hunt. Shino's insects surge like a black spill across the dirt. Ino moves with quick, precise steps, hands already forming seals, eyes narrowed for openings. Naruto doesn't panic. He laughs. It's sharp and bright and wrong for the moment, like he refuses to give his enemies the satisfaction of seeing fear. One of the Kusa shinobi lunges for Shino, trying to break the bug user first. Shino shifts, bugs wrapping around the attacker's forearm, biting, draining, forcing him to recoil. Ino darts in with a kunai slash meant to herd the attacker into Shino's swarm. Her movement is tight, controlled. Naruto breaks away, chasing the third presence, the one below. He senses it before he sees it, that hidden chakra threading through roots like a snake through grass. Noga, Naruto says, voice hardening. A figure answers from the foliage with a low chuckle. So, you remember my name? Naruto's grin returns, but it's meaner now. Hard to forget someone who tries to poison people and calls it bravery. Noga's voice echoes from somewhere higher. Hard to forget someone who thinks he'll be Hokage. Naruto's eyes narrow, scanning. Come out. Why should I? Noga taunts. I'm a true shinobi. We don't fight in the open. Naruto's jaw tightens. He hates that this is exactly the kind of fight Anko warned him about. Enemies who refuse honor because honor doesn't keep you alive. Fine. He makes two clones, just two, and sends them sprinting into opposite angles, deliberately loud. Leaves crunch. Branches snap. Noise meant to pull attention. Noga takes the bait. A vine lashes out and pierces one, Naruto, clean through the chest. The impaled Naruto gasps, eyes wide, body jerking. Ino's head snaps toward the sound, horror flashing across her face. Shino's insects falter for the smallest fraction of a second, and that fraction is what the Kusa attackers were waiting for. Shino recovers instantly, bugs surging, but Ino's breath catches, her body freezing like her mind refuses to accept what it just saw. Naruto impaled, hangs there, slack. Noga steps out from hiding, grinning like he's already won. So dies a Hokage, he says, voice full of smug triumph. Then a voice speaks behind him, casual and annoyed. Oi, excuse me. Noga's grin stiffens. Naruto stands behind him perfectly fine, head tilted like he's offended by the performance. Do you mind? Naruto adds, gesturing toward the impaled Naruto. I'm sort of mourning my bunch in there. The impaled body poofs into smoke. Noga's eyes widen. How? Impossible. That couldn't have been a shadow clone. I had you. Naruto's grin turns sharp. I make a lot of them, he says, and a real shinobi can swap without missing a beat. He moves. Not with a scream, not with a rush. He steps in like he already decided the outcome. Kunai flash. Metal scrapes metal. Naruto drives Noga backward with a series of tight strikes. Nothing fancy, just pressure, forcing him off balance, forcing him to respond instead of plan. Noga tries to whip Vine again, but Naruto pivots, letting it snap past his shoulder, then slams his heel into Noga's knee. Noga collapses to one leg with a strangled grunt. Naruto doesn't finish him. That's the part that's new. Old Naruto would have overcommitted, would have tried to end it with brute force. This Naruto pauses, breathing steady, eyes scanning the forest again even while standing over his enemy. Because someone like Noga never hunts alone. A second whip lashes from the trees toward Naruto's throat. Naruto ducks without looking, as if he felt the air change. He snaps a clone into existence behind him, and the clone catches the whip with both hands, anchoring it. Naruto follows the line to where it's coming from and throws a kunai into the foliage without hesitation. A grunt. A splash of blood. A Kusa shinobi stumbles out, clutching his shoulder, face pale. Shino's insects devour the remaining attacker's confidence. Ino regains herself and moves with sudden fury, driving her opponent back with a wild precision that surprises even her. She doesn't land a killing blow, but she doesn't need to. Shino's bugs handle the rest. Within moments, the Kusa team is broken. One injured, one drained and staggering. Noga kneeling in the dirt with Naruto's kunai at his throat. Ino's chest heaves. Her eyes flick between Naruto and the injured attackers, and she realizes something with a cold jolt. These Kusa genin aren't trying to win an exam, they're trying to stack bodies. Noga spits into the dirt. You think you're strong, he snarls. You think you're special. Naruto leans closer, voice low. I think you're stupid. Noga's eyes flash. You don't even know what you are, he hisses. You'll be the disease of Hokage. The words land, and for half a heartbeat, Naruto's expression flickers, something behind his eyes stirring, something sealed, listening like it always listens when someone pokes at the truth. Then Naruto smiles again, but the smile doesn't reach his eyes. He pulls his kunai away and steps back. Run, he says. Noga blinks. What? Naruto's voice stays calm. Run, he repeats, before I change my mind. Ino stares at him like he's insane. Naruto. Naruto glances at her, and the look is sharp but controlled. We don't need their scroll, he says, and killing them wastes time. Shino's head tilts slightly. Efficiency. Ino's jaw tightens, but she understands the logic even as it offends her pride. Noga scrambles back, hate burning in his eyes. He doesn't thank Naruto. He doesn't accept mercy. He retreats because he's terrified. The remaining Kusa shinobi drag themselves after him, vanishing into the trees like wounded animals. The forest goes quiet again. Ino exhales shakily. You baited us, she says, voice tight. You let them think you died. Naruto shrugs like it's nothing, but his fingers flex once, subtle, like he's releasing a tension he refuses to show. It worked. Ino swallows. You scared me. Naruto's grin flashes, softer for a split second. Good, he says. Then he catches himself, and the softness disappears. Sorry. Ino stares at him, confused by the apology, and even more confused that she believes it's real. Shino speaks calmly. Your tactical deception was effective, but provoking emotional disruption within the team is dangerous. Naruto's gaze slides to Shino, noted. And the way he says it, flat, accepting, tells Shino that Naruto isn't arguing because Naruto already knows. They move again, faster now, because staying still after blood is how you invite the next predator. High above, unseen, the proctors move through the forest like shadows with duty in their bones. Mitarashi Anko perches on a branch far from Team 9's path, scanning the trees with a boredom she doesn't feel. This patrol assignment is beneath her temperament. She needs real enemies, real blood, real problems she can punch. But then she sees Team 9 clash with Kusa, and her boredom fractures into sharp interest. Naruto's movement is cleaner, his timing is sharper, his restraint is new, and that frightens her in a way she refuses to admit. Two young A and BU recruits flank her, eager, tense, trying to look like they belong in black masks. She barely registers them until one of them points out a familiar figure moving through the canopy at a distance. Hayate-san? The recruit whispers. Anko's stomach drops. Hayate shouldn't be here, not patrolling, not alone, not moving like that. She watches the figure more closely. The posture is wrong. The rhythm is wrong. The chakra signature is off, like perfume sprayed over rot. Anko's skin prickles. She knows that wrongness. She's felt it before, in training rooms that smelled like snakeskin and ambition. Her voice goes quiet, deadly. That isn't Hayate. The recruits stiffen. But, shut up, Anko snaps, eyes locked on the moving figure. Do you want to die with questions in your mouth? The figure pauses on a branch and turns his head slightly, as if he heard her thoughts. Anko feels the hair rise on the back of her neck. Then the figure moves again, deeper into the forest, toward a section of trees so thick the light turns green and sick. Anko's breath goes thin. She doesn't hesitate. She signals the recruits back. Go, she orders. Get reinforcements, now. One recruit protests, stupidly brave. He didn't seem that strong. Anko's glare slices him open. Then you don't need to be an A and BU, she hisses. He's Sannin level. Move. That finally kicks their fear into motion. They vanish into the canopy, sprinting away. Anko follows the false Hayate alone. Because some threats don't wait for backup. Because some ghosts are personal. She moves silently, faster than most shinobi can track, weaving through branches with an ease born from a life spent outrunning consequences. She keeps her chakra tight, hidden, but she knows it doesn't matter. If it's who she thinks it is, he can smell her no matter what she does. The figure stops again in a clearing where the trees twist inward like ribs. He stands with his back to her, hands relaxed at his sides, as if he's been waiting. Anko lands on a branch above, kunai already in her hand. Show your face, she says, voice low. The figure chuckles softly. Then he turns. Hayate's face stares up at her, too calm, too amused. Anko's eyes narrow into slits. Drop the disguise. The smile widens. The skin ripples like water. The face peels away, And Orochimaru looks up at her with yellow eyes that gleam in the filtered light like a predator finally seeing a familiar toy. "Uncle," he murmurs, voice warm with cruelty, "you've grown." Anko's grip tightens until the kunai handle creaks. "You're not supposed to be here," she spits. Orochimaru's smile stays gentle. "Neither are you," he says, "but look at us, always where we shouldn't be." Anko's heartbeat slams, not with fear. She hates him too much for fear, but with the old reflexes he carved into her body, the memories he wired into her muscles like traps. "Why are you here?" she demands. Orochimaru tilts his head, eyes glinting. "The exams are a wonderful time," he says softly. "So many young shinobi, so many future weapons, so many futures to redirect." Anko's stomach twists. "You're hunting someone." Orochimaru's gaze flickers, distant. "Perhaps." Anko's voice goes sharp. "If you touch my student?" Orochimaru laughs quietly, like she said something adorable. "Your student," he repeats. "Uzumaki Naruto." Anko feels ice slide down her spine. He knows, of course he knows. Orochimaru steps forward slightly, and the forest seems to lean away from him like it remembers pain. "He's changed," Orochimaru says, almost conversational. "Your influence?" Anko bares her teeth. "Stay away from him." Orochimaru's smile doesn't falter. "That depends," he says. "Will you stop me?" Anko drops from the branch like a falling blade. For a moment, the clearing becomes pure violence. Kunai flash. Feet strike bark. Anko moves with lethal efficiency, faster than most jonin can track, forcing Orochimaru to dodge, to shift, to respect her. He does. He also enjoys it. He counters with lazy precision, letting her think she's landing hits, letting her feel hope, then slipping away at the last possible moment like he's reminding her who taught her to move. Anko's breath comes harsh. "You bastard." Orochimaru's eyes gleam. "Still emotional," he murmurs. Anko lunges again, and Orochimaru's hand flicks. A snake erupts from his sleeve, fangs snapping. Anko twists aside, but the snake grazes her arm, and poison burns like fire under her skin. Her body jolts. Her breath catches. Orochimaru stepped closer, voice almost tender. "You're still mine in some ways," he says. Anko's vision sharpens with rage. She forces her body to move through the burn, forces her muscles to obey her will. She doesn't fall. She refuses, because somewhere else in this forest, Naruto is moving. And if Orochimaru is here, Naruto is in danger whether he knows it or not. One quick thing before the forest closes in. If you're still watching, don't blink now, because the moment Orochimaru steps onto the board, the exams stop being a test and start being a hunt. Team 9, unaware of the shadow stalking their proctor, keeps moving toward the tower. They find traces of other teams finally. Broken branches, spilled gear, the faint stink of fear sweat. The forest is waking up. Ino's nerves are raw, but her posture is steadier now. Shino's insects hum with constant information. Naruto stays quiet, scanning, breathing, controlling. They're doing everything right, which is exactly why the next threat won't come from a sloppy team looking for a scroll. It'll come from something that doesn't care about the exam at all. As they cross a narrow stretch of ground where the trees thin and the light turns too bright, Naruto stops dead. Ino bumps into him. "What?" Naruto raises a hand, silent. Shino's insects pause mid-flight as if they hit an invisible wall. The air changes. Not wind, not scent, pressure. Ino feels it a heartbeat later and her stomach drops. "What is that?" Naruto's eyes narrow toward the canopy. "Someone?" he whispers. "Not Chunin." Shino's voice is calm, but his posture tightens. This chakra is abnormal. The trees ahead tremble. A figure steps onto a branch in front of them, slow, deliberate, like he wants them to see him. He wears a headband they don't recognize. His smile is too calm. His eyes are wrong in a way that makes Ino's skin crawl. He looks down at them like they're insects. Naruto's hand drifts toward a seal without him thinking. Ino's breath catches. Shino's insects cluster protectively near his collar. The stranger's smile widens, and the forest feels suddenly smaller, like the trap has finally closed its jaws. Ino's mouth goes dry. Shino's insects draw in close, bunching under his collar like they want to hide inside him. Naruto doesn't move, but his whole body goes still in a way that isn't fear. It's calculation. It's instinct that's been burned into him by missions, by Anko's lessons, by the simple truth that death likes confident people. The stranger tilts his head, studying them like specimens. "Konoha," he murmurs, voice soft. "How cute." Naruto's eyes narrow. "Who are you?" The stranger's gaze slides over Naruto's forehead protector, then lingers on Naruto's face as if something there interests him more than the headband. "A participant," he says, "and a spectator." Ino's chin lifts, forcing bravery into her posture. "If you want a scroll," she snaps, "go find someone else." The stranger chuckles. "A scroll? he repeats like the word is almost amusing. No, no. I'm not here for paper. Shino's voice is calm but edged now. Then state your objective. The stranger's smile grows gentler, which somehow makes it worse. To see if the rumors are true, he says. About Konoha's little monster. Ino's breath catches. Naruto's expression doesn't change, but something shifts behind his eyes. A door inside him creaks open just a hair. The sealed presence listens, amused and curious, like it recognizes when someone says the wrong word too close to the cage. Naruto's voice drops. Don't call me that. The stranger's gaze sharpens in interest. Oh? He says. So you do know. Ino steps forward instinctively, putting herself between Naruto and the stranger like her body chose before her brain could argue. Back off, she hisses. The stranger's eyes flick to her, and the air hits her like a wave. Killing intent. Not flared, not thrown, simply present, like gravity. Ino's knees threaten to buckle. She forces herself to breathe. Shino shifts, insects spilling out in a careful widening circle. He doesn't attack. He probes, testing the edges of the stranger's pressure the way he'd test a chemical burn. Naruto makes a small movement with his hand, just a signal. 2 fingers, a slight tilt. Ino sees it, surprised, and obeys without knowing why. She takes half a step left. Shino takes half a step right. Formation. They're moving like a team. The stranger watches their micro-adjustments with visible delight. Ah, he murmurs. So, the loud one has learned discipline. Naruto's voice is flat. You talk too much. The stranger laughs softly. And you don't talk enough, he replies. How sad. I wanted to hear you scream. Ino's stomach drops. Naruto doesn't shout. He doesn't posture. He only exhales, slow, and the moment the stranger's weight shifts forward just slightly, Naruto moves. 2 clones snap into existence at Naruto's sides and sprint outward, not toward the stranger but into the trees, ripping branches, making noise, pulling sightlines. Naruto himself goes low and fast, closing distance like a thrown knife. Ino's hands flash. Shino's insects surge. The stranger doesn't panic. He smiles. Then he disappears. Not a body flicker, not a substitution. He simply vanishes as if the air swallowed him. Naruto's fist cuts through empty space. And then the pain arrives. A strike lands between Naruto's shoulder blades like a hammer. So precise, Naruto feels the shock travel down his spine and bloom in his ribs. He's thrown forward, slamming into the dirt hard enough to taste blood. Ino screams his name, then clamps her mouth shut the second it leaves her. Shino's insects swarm where the stranger reappears, but the stranger shifts again, half a step, a twist, and the insects miss like he's stepping between seconds. Naruto pushes up, jaw clenched, ignoring the pain. He's fast, he spits. Ino's voice is tight with panic. He's not Jinin. Shino's tone stays even, but it's colder now. Correct. This is predation, not competition. The stranger stands on a branch above them again, hands relaxed at his sides like he's taking a stroll. 3 of you, he muses. And still so fragile. Naruto wipes blood from the corner of his mouth. He forces his breathing down. He refuses to give the stranger the satisfaction of seeing him shake. Ino looks like she wants to run and hates herself for it. Shino's insects ripple, searching for an angle. Naruto's mind snaps into a harsh clarity. They cannot win a straight fight. Not here, not like this. The goal is survival, escape, get to the tower, not ego. He glances at his teammates and makes the decision he never used to make. He prioritizes them. Shino, Naruto says quietly. Bugs, smokescreen. Shino pauses, half a heartbeat of surprise, then nods, understanding the intent immediately. Insects surge outward in a thick cloud, not to bite, but to obscure. A living curtain. A moving wall. Naruto turns to Ino. Ready your mind jutsu, he says. Not to win, to stall. Ino's eyes widen. Stall him? That's insane. Naruto's gaze is sharp. Do you trust me? Ino hesitates. Then she realizes what she's hearing. Naruto asking for trust, not demanding it, not whining for it. Just asking like a leader. Her chest tightens. She nods once. Fine. Naruto exhales. On my mark. The stranger laughs quietly above them. How sweet, he says. They're playing ninja. Naruto lifts his hand. The insect cloud thickens. The stranger tilts his head, amused. Naruto snaps his fingers. Ino launches her technique. It's not perfect. It never is under pressure. But it doesn't need to be perfect. For one split second, the stranger's body stiffens. His head jerks as if a wire yanked his thoughts sideways. His eyes widen in mild surprise. And Naruto takes that split second and turns it into a door. Move! He barks. They sprint, not blindly. Not in a straight line. They weave through the trees in a hard zigzag. Naruto in front, Ino in the middle, Shino at the rear, insects trailing like a defensive veil. Behind them, the pressure returns like a storm front. The stranger recovers instantly, and the air feels angry now. He's no longer playing, he's offended. A whip crack snaps through the canopy, something slams into a tree beside Naruto and splits the trunk like it's made of wet paper. Ino gasps. Naruto doesn't stop. He doesn't look back. He runs like he ran from Mizuki, like he ran from loneliness, like he ran from being unwanted. Except now he isn't running alone. They burst into a clearing and Naruto skids to a stop, hand up. Ino almost crashes into him. "What are you doing?" Naruto's eyes track the ground. "Trap," he says. Shino's insects buzz urgently, confirming what Naruto already saw. Thin wires, paper tags, a ring of hidden Senbon launchers masked by leaves. Someone else set this, someone competent. Naruto's mouth tightens. "We can use it." Ino's eyes widen. "Use it how?" Naruto's gaze flicks to the trees behind them. The pressure is getting closer. The stranger is coming. Naruto makes a seal. 3 clones appear. "Run through," Naruto orders them. The clones obey, sprinting into the clearing like idiots. The trap triggers. Senbon explode from hidden angles, slicing air. Paper tags flare. A net of wire snaps up. The clones pop into smoke, filling the clearing with a sudden thick fog. Naruto grabs Ino's wrist, gentle but firm pulls her along the exact safe path between 2 hidden trip points. Shino follows, insects clinging close. They slip through the clearing without triggering anything. Then they duck into the trees on the far side and hold their breath. A heartbeat later, the stranger arrives. He lands in the clearing like a shadow dropping into water. The smoke fog curls around him. The trap's net rises again, sensing motion. The stranger smiles. He steps forward anyway. The wires snap. The tags flare. For a brief, glorious second, even he is slowed. His body shifting in a forced dodge, his movements finally reacting instead of controlling. Naruto watches through leaves, eyes narrowed. It's not enough to kill him, but it's enough to buy time. Naruto gives his team a small hand gesture. "Move." Now, they sprint again, leaving the clearing and its chaos behind. They run until their lungs burn and their legs go numb. They don't stop until the forest changes. The density shifts, the paths begin to feel less random, and a distant shape rises above the canopy like a promise. The tower, Ino exhales, voice shaking. That guy, what was he?" Naruto's jaw clenches. "Trouble." Shino speaks quietly. "A high-level infiltrator. Possibly a Jonin." Ino's stomach twists. Why would a Jonin attack Jinin? Naruto doesn't answer. Because he's thinking the same thing. And because the sealed presence inside him is very quiet right now, listening in a way that feels like anticipation. They climb the tower steps with blood on their clothes and dirt on their hands. Other teams stagger in too, some missing a teammate, some shaking, some trying not to look at the red stains on their sleeves. Konoha proctors collect scrolls. Names are checked, survivors are counted. Team 9 makes it, barely. Ino's hands tremble as she hands over their set. Shino stands steady, but his insects are restless. Naruto keeps his face blank, refusing to let anyone see how close he came to breaking. Anko is there, leaning against the wall like she's bored, but her eyes lock onto Naruto the second she sees him. She notices everything. The tear in his jacket, the blood at his mouth, the way his gaze keeps sliding toward shadows. She doesn't smile, not even her cruel smile. She just stares, and Naruto feels the Kimbaku thread between them tighten like a warning. Later, in a corridor away from the others, Anko grabs Naruto by the front of his jacket and slams him gently, for her, against the wall. Naruto winces. "Ow! What the? Did you see him?" she hisses. Naruto's eyes narrow. "Who?" Anko's voice drops. "The snake." Naruto freezes. He doesn't know why that word makes his skin crawl, but it does. "He wasn't Jinin," Naruto says slowly. He felt wrong." Anko's jaw tightens like she wants to spit blood. "That's Orochimaru," she says. "He's here." Naruto's breath catches. "Your old sensei." Anko's eyes flash. "My old mistake." Naruto's stomach drops. "Why would he want me?" Anko stares at him for a long beat. Then she releases his jacket and steps back, forcing her expression into something colder, more controlled. "Because you're interesting," she says. "And he collects interesting things." Naruto's hands clench. Ino and Shino appear at the end of the corridor, having followed because they're not stupid and they're not leaving Naruto alone right now, even if they don't admit it out loud. Ino's voice is sharp. "What's going on?" Anko's eyes flick to her, assessing. Then to Shino, she makes a decision. "Your team was attacked by a high-level infiltrator," Anko says flatly. "If you see anyone with a smile that feels wrong, you run. You don't fight. You don't hesitate, you run." Ino's face pales. "That's not normal." Shino's voice stays even. "Understood." Naruto's jaw tightens. "I'm not running." Anko's gaze snaps back to him, furious. "You will if I tell you to." Naruto's eyes burn. "No, Ino stares between them, confused by the intensity, by the protectiveness that looks like violence. Shino says nothing, but his insects ripple, feeling the tension. Anko steps closer, voice low and deadly. Naruto, she says, you don't get to be brave against him. Brave is for enemies you can understand. He is not that. Naruto swallows, anger and fear tangling in his throat. He hates being told to run. He hates feeling small, but he remembers the pressure. The way the forest itself seemed to lean away. He nods once, reluctantly. Anko's shoulders loosen by a fraction. The preliminaries are announced soon after. One-on-one matches to reduce the numbers for the final tournament. The room shifts into a different kind of hunger. Genin straighten. Rivalries flare. The crowd buzzes with the hope of being seen. Naruto doesn't feel hopeful. He feels hunted. Names are drawn. Matches begin. People fight. People win. People lose. And then a name is called that makes Naruto's blood go cold. Ino Yamanaka versus Uzumaki Naruto. Ino's head snaps toward him, eyes wide. No. Naruto's mouth goes dry. The crowd murmurs. Anko watches from above like a hawk, pretending she doesn't care. Hayate stands at the center, coughing once, eyes tired. Begin. Ino and Naruto face each other. For a heartbeat, they just stare. Teammates turned opponents by the lottery of cruelty that defines shinobi life. Ino's hands lift. Don't hold back, she snaps, voice too sharp. If you do, I'll hate you forever. Naruto's lips part, then close. His expression goes calm. I won't, he says simply. They move. Ino goes for distance first, trying to keep space for Mindjutsu. Naruto closes that space fast, forcing her to move her feet, forcing her to fight physically instead of mentally. Ino is quicker than Naruto expects. She feints left and throws a kunai right, aiming not to hit him but to force him to dodge into her line. Naruto ducks, slides, and comes up inside her range. Ino's eyes flash. Her hands begin the seal for her mind technique. Naruto sees it, and instead of panicking, he does something different. He stops. He doesn't attack. He doesn't retreat. He just looks straight at her. Ino falters for the smallest fraction of a second, confusion cutting through her concentration. Naruto's voice is quiet. If you land it, he says, do it clean. Ino's chest tightens. For a second, she hates him. Hates his calm, hates his trust, hates the way he's making this feel like something bigger than a fight. Then she snarls and commits. Her technique launches. Naruto feels it like cold fingers trying to slide into his skull, trying to push him out of his own body. For a heartbeat, his vision flickers. The sealed presence inside him stirs, not like a friend. Like a beast shifting behind a barred door, amused that someone thinks they can touch what it guards. Naruto's breath catches, his muscles twitch, and then he resists, not with brute force, not with screaming chakra, with discipline. With that drip control Anko hammered into him. He anchors himself in one thought, I am here, I am mine. Ino's eyes widen as she feels resistance where she expected a door swinging open. Naruto moves again fast. He steps in, taps her shoulder, same move as the capture exercise, the boo that made her scream in the forest. But this time he doesn't tease. He hooks her wrist gently, twists, and pins her arm behind her back without hurting her. Ino freezes, breathing hard, humiliated and furious, and beneath it, shocked. Naruto's voice is low. Yield, he whispers. Ino's jaw clenches. She wants to fight. She wants to scream. She wants to win. But she also knows something now. Naruto could have hurt her. He didn't. That restraint is its own kind of strength. Ino closes her eyes for a second, then hisses, I yield. Hayate raises a hand. Winner, Uzumaki Naruto. The crowd murmurs again, but the tone has changed. This isn't the dead last got lucky. This is the dead last is different. Ino steps back, rubbing her wrist, cheeks hot. Naruto stands awkwardly, not knowing what to do with victory that feels like betrayal. Ino glares at him. Don't look sad, she snaps. You won. Naruto's voice is quiet. I know. Ino's glare softens by a fraction, then hardens again because she refuses softness like it's poison. Go pass, she mutters. Make it worth it. Naruto nods once. Shino meets Naruto's gaze briefly afterward, an acknowledgment without words. Team 9 is fractured by the bracket, but not broken. The finals approach. Days pass. Training intensifies. The village watches their candidates like investments. Naruto trains with Anko at night, harder than ever. He trains with Hayate when he can, absorbing discipline. He trains alone when no one is watching, repeating movement until it feels like truth. And all the while, the shadow of Orochimaru hangs over everything like a knife that hasn't fallen yet. Then the day of the finals arrives. The arena is packed, flags from villages, nobles, and shinobi. The Hokage seated high, calm, and watchful. Naruto stands in the competitors' line, feeling eyes on him from everywhere. Some curious, some hateful, some hungry. He catches Ino in the crowd, arms crossed, pretending she doesn't care, watching him anyway. Shino stands beside her, still as stone. Anko is on a rooftop, posture casual, gaze sharp enough to cut. Naruto's name is called. His opponent steps forward. A sound shinobi with that same wrong calm, that same too smooth smile. Naruto's skin prickles. The match begins. Naruto moves. And for the first time in front of the whole village, he fights like he's done being underestimated. He doesn't flood the arena with clones. He doesn't scream his intentions. He doesn't rely on luck. He uses timing, angles, misdirection. He makes one clone, not to swarm, but to bait. He forces the sound shinobi to reveal a pattern. Then he punishes it. The sound shinobi tries to corner him with an unseen blade of wind. Naruto feels it slice past his cheek and realizes too late that the opponent isn't just fighting. He's testing, probing, looking for the seal inside Naruto to react. Naruto's breath goes slow. He refuses to give that reaction. He takes a hit. He keeps moving. He feints. He draws the opponent in. And then he ends it with a clean, brutal strike that drops the sound shinobi flat. The arena roars. Naruto stands there breathing hard, sweat in his eyes, blood on his lip, and for a second it feels like he's finally done it, finally proven he belongs. Then the air changes. A wave of killing intent sweeps the stands, not from genin, from adults. The invasion begins. Smoke bombs explode. Screams rise. Shinobi leap into motion. Sand and sound reveal their betrayal like a mask being ripped off. Naruto's heart drops. This isn't an exam anymore. This is war. Anko's voice hits him from above like a whip. Naruto, move! Naruto snaps to action. He sprints toward the Hokage's platform because instinct tells him the real danger is always aimed at the top. He sees Kakashi flash into battle, ripping through attackers. He sees Jonin clashing in midair. He sees civilians screaming in the stands. He sees Ino being pulled back by a Yamanaka elder, face pale, eyes locked on Naruto. He sees Shino vanish into smoke, insects surging like a black storm. Naruto pushes forward. Then a presence lands in front of him like a nightmare stepping into daylight. Yellow eyes, a smile too gentle. Orochimaru. Naruto freezes. His body remembers the forest, the pressure, the wrongness, the sense that the world itself wants to step away. Orochimaru looks him over like he's browsing a shop. There you are, he murmurs. I've been looking forward to this. Naruto's hands clench. Stay away from me. Orochimaru chuckles softly. So brave, he says, so loud even when you try to be quiet. Naruto feels the seal inside him stir, and he hates it. He hates that something inside him responds to this man like prey recognizing a predator. Anko drops between them in a blur, kunai out, eyes blazing. Touch him, she hisses, and I'll carve your eyes out. Orochimaru's smile warms. Anko, he says, still protective. How sweet. Anko's jaw tightens. Run, Naruto, she snaps without looking back. Naruto hesitates. Orochimaru's eyes gleam. Yes, he murmurs, run. Let's see what's inside you when you're cornered. Naruto's breath catches. Then he remembers the cemetery. He remembers the first kill. He remembers the numbness trying to take root. He remembers Ino's dreamlike fear, her hand gripping his wrist, her voice shaking and angry. He remembers Shino's calm assessment. He remembers Iruka's bloody vest. He remembers Anko's words, decision. Naruto makes his choice. He doesn't run. He makes clones. 3, not 100, and sends them to evacuate civilians nearby, grabbing people, guiding them toward exits, shouting orders with a clarity that shocks even him. He turns back to Anko and Orochimaru, jaw clenched. I'm not leaving you. Anko's eyes flash with rage and something like pride. Idiot, she spits. Orochimaru laughs softly. There it is, he says, that stubborn heart. He moves. Anko meets him. Steel flashes. Snakes strike. The air fills with killing intent so thick Naruto feels like he's breathing mud. Naruto tries to help. He lunges in, tries to land a hit. Orochimaru swats him aside like he's flicking away a fly. Naruto slams into a wall, pain exploding in his ribs. He coughs, vision blurring. Orochimaru doesn't even look at him. You're not ready, he says casually, almost kindly. But you will be. Naruto forces himself up, shaking, fury burning. He wants to fight. He wants to prove something. Anko snarls at him without turning. Get people out. That's your job. Naruto's throat tightens. That's what being a shinobi is. Not glory, not victory, responsibility. Naruto makes the hardest choice again. He turns and runs, not away, but outward, toward the stands, toward the screaming, toward the chaos. He helps. He drags people to safety. He throws clones into collapsing areas to catch falling debris. He takes hits meant for civilians and keeps moving. And somewhere behind him, Anko's battle with Orochimaru rips through the air like a storm. Naruto can't see it, but he feels it. Then, in the middle of evacuation, Naruto hears it. A roar, not the crowd, not battle, a roar that feels like it comes from inside Naruto's own chest. His skin goes cold. He looks up. High above, on the roofline, the Hokage is fighting someone. Another shadow with the smile too calm. A battle of monsters disguised as men. Naruto's heart hammers. Because he understands now, this invasion was never just about the exam. It was about shaking Konoha until something valuable falls out. And Naruto is the most valuable thing in the village. The sealed presence inside him stirs harder, like it senses the chaos as an invitation. Naruto clenches his fists, teeth grinding, forcing it down. Not today. He refuses. Hours later, the invasion falters. Konoha shinobi rally. Sand retreats. Sound withdraws into smoke and confusion. The village is damaged, bleeding, furious, but not broken. Naruto stands in the aftermath, chest heaving, clothes torn, hands shaking from exhaustion. Ino finds him near the edge of the arena, face smudged with dust, eyes bright with anger and fear. For once, she doesn't insult him. She just grabs his sleeve hard. "You're alive," she says, voice cracking like she hates that it almost did. Naruto nods once. "Yeah." Shino appears beside her, uninjured but tense. "Your clones performed evacuation efficiently," he says, and that's the closest thing Shino has to praise. Naruto's throat tightens. "Thanks." Anko arrives last, blood on her cheek, eyes burning with something unreadable. She looks Naruto over like she's counting his bones. "You're still breathing," she says. Naruto gives a tired grin. "Barely." Anko's mouth twitches, almost a smile, almost pride. Then she shoves his shoulder hard enough to make him stumble. "Don't ever scare me like that again." Naruto blinks, too tired to process what she just admitted. Above them, the Hokage's platform is empty now. Whispers move through survivors like smoke. The Hokage is gone, taken into a battle beyond sight. The price has been paid. Naruto's chest tightens. He stares at the ruined arena, at the wounded shinobi, at the civilians crying into each other's shoulders, and the world feels suddenly older. He came into these exams wanting recognition. He leaves them understanding cost. Anko's voice cuts through his thoughts, low and hard. "This isn't over," she says. "Orochimaru will come back." Naruto's fists clench. Ino swallows, eyes narrowed. "Then we get stronger," she says, surprising herself with the certainty. Shino inclines his head. "Preparation increases survival probability." Naruto looks at them. His temporary team that stopped feeling temporary somewhere along the way, and for the first time he doesn't feel like a stray. He feels like a weapon with a purpose. He lifts a hand and adjusts his forehead protector, metal cool against bruised skin. "I'll get stronger," Naruto says quietly, "and when he comes back, I'll be ready." Anko's gaze sharpens, approving and worried all at once. "Good," she says, "because next time he won't just test you." The wind moves through Konoha's broken streets, carrying ash and distant cries. Naruto stands in it and feels the sealed presence inside him settle again, patient, like it's smiling, and Naruto, for the first time, smiles back. Not because he's happy, but because he's decided something. He will not be used. Not by teachers. Not by enemies. Not by the village. Not by the monster inside him. He will be Hokage, and he will earn it the hard way. After all the smoke, the blood, and the shattered illusions, Naruto takes one slow breath and steps forward into the rebuilding. No longer a joke, no longer a pawn, but a shinobi with a team, a scar, and a future he refuses to surrender. If you enjoyed this altered timeline and want the full saga breakdowns like this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Fanfics in a Nutshell is just getting started.